Good evening from the Aberdeen Sports Village. It's day 3 of the Scottish National Championships for 2017. We've had 2 superb days. The sun is shining today in Aberdeen. It's made a change from the last 2 days. So we're looking forward to some sunny performances in the pool as well. I'm Duncan McKinnell and I'll be taking you through the action, and I'm joined in the commentary box this evening by Alan Lynn, the national coach for Scottish Swimming. Good evening, Alan.
Good evening, Duncan. Good evening, everyone. Yes, we're looking forward to some bright performances in this ASV pool this evening. We've had a cracking couple of days already and some great races in prospect this evening.
There's the Twitter feed. Please do tweet in your views about what's going on, your support for your favourite swimmer. Hashtag SNOC17 is the handle to use, and we look forward to seeing your tweets. Some of the action from yesterday as Regan Doig started us off in the 100 breaststroke in the multi-classification events. We'll see a number of multi-classification events this evening as well. And then followed up in the able-bodied Corrie Scott there. It was a strong swim from Corrie, Allen.
It was the season's best performance from her. Really nice performance heading into the British Summer Championships later in the month.
So that was the 100 breaststroke. And there you can see her again coming in, different view, and just see a little bit about the technique at the front of her body anyway. And coming in strongly there into the wall. So I just got to catch a Hannah Miley beside her, doing a number of some of the events, not her main events. 100 backstroke men, what a race this was.
Blanket finish, absolutely incredible. I thought Stephen Milne had it. In the end, it was McNally.
No doubt about this one, though. What a swim that was from Lizzie Simmons, now swimming at Edinburgh University. It's great to have her up in Scotland, isn't it, Alan?
World-class performance, that really was.
And another world-class performer here, Ross Murdoch in the 200 breaststroke. You can see that, not shaven down, but absolutely dominating the field there.
Yes, not quite hipster look, but certainly a hairy performance from Ross Murdoch.
So that was the 200 breaststroke last night. And you can see him here, full frontal view, coming in. He looks quite relaxed there.
He does. He had 2 great swims yesterday in this event, heats and finals. Very much a part of his final preparations towards the World Championships in Budapest.
And he sounds pretty focused from what he's been saying on interviews in the last few days. This was a good race. This was Rachel Masson pushing just ahead of Lucy Hope and bringing it in by a fair margin, actually.
Yeah, it was the best time from Rachel Just, and these girls will be going at it tomorrow in the women's 100 freestyle.
And there again you can see them coming in, and so South Aberdeenshire Swimming, Rachel's programme, just close to where we are, and this was a lonely affair for Camilla Hatsley. She was way out in front of anybody else in the 800 freestyle and put in another very strong performance.
Yeah, another season's best swim from Camilla, and we'll be seeing her very, very shortly as she features as the fastest qualifier for the women's 400 freestyle.
What a smoothie you are, Alan, because that was a great lead into what's coming up tonight. So we start off with 200 individual medley. Whether we're going to see the programme up on the screen, but that's what comes up first. We have multi-classification final, followed by B and A final in most of the events today. Women's 400 freestyle will be an interesting affair. As you said, Camilla back in the pool.
Yeah, I think she'll be rattling the Commonwealth Games qualifying time for that this evening if she goes as well as she did last night in the 800. Perhaps just out of her reach this weekend, but certainly well within her grasp this season. She'll be pushed by Nikki Miller, World Junior Championship swimmer in lane 5 in that event, but I think Camilla will probably have a clear field again for her to achieve a good time.
We follow that with men's 100 breaststroke. No Murdoch or Benson in this one, but Ewan Ingalls, who's got a consideration time in the 50 breaststroke, will be looking to see how fast he can go in the 100.
His 100 has come on this season, no question about that. Of course, as you say, a 50 metre qualifier for the Commonwealth Games with that superb swim in Sheffield behind Adam Peaty.
100 backstroke follows for the women, followed by the men's 200 backstroke. So we saw that finish from Craig McNally. In a 200 backstroke, he'll be taking pretty seriously tonight, I would think.
I would hope so. I think he'll be looking for a signature performance in that event. He's got some tough competition. Mark Shranick World Championship team member, not on this backstroke but certainly on medley, will be looking to get a strong performance, and we would expect McNally to win, and we'll see how close he can get to the Commonwealth Games standard as well.
Women's 200 breaststroke follows that. Another chance to see the Turkish swimmer Victoria Güneş, who has looked pretty solid in this meet, certainly in the IM, and breaststroke actually her strongest stroke.
Yeah, she's a world junior record holder and 5-time world junior champion on a variety of events, breaststroke and medley, so it's great to have her in the pool.
And then the 50 freestyle should be very interesting. Cumberledge and Thorpe, the two from Edinburgh University, and Callum Bain might be in there as well.
Yeah, it's a Scotland, England and Ireland competition. It'll be splash and dash, I think, there, 22 seconds and change.
And Duncan Scott doing the 50.
Don't write him off because he can usually get his hand on the wall.
And British record holder, of course, at the 100 freestyle, so it'll be interesting to see how he does in the shorter distance. Yeah. Follow that off with women's 50 butterfly, men's 800 freestyle, and we've got two relay events to finish off on tonight, both 4x100. Women will go up first, 2 heats of each, and the men will finish proceedings in the end. So looking at the clock, there's probably a couple of minutes yet before we get swimming. So remember, hashtag SNOC17 is the Twitter feed to use. There it is up on the screen, as we can see some of the swimmers. There is a very nice swim down facility here at the Aberdeen Sports Village, and a lot of the swimmers will be nipping across there. It's also a diving pool. There's a beautiful set of diving boards there, but this week we're using it as a swim down facility, so the swimmers go there. We've got a past master there, ex-Commonwealth Games swimmer there, now coaching, Lewis Smith. He's with the City of Glasgow programme at the moment.
He is, and what a surprise to see some young swimmers on their phones.
Yeah. What are you looking at? Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I got a Snapchat. What's your streak?
I think they're probably watching us.
Yeah, if only. If only, Duncan.
Yeah, well, you never know. So as I said, we're starting with the 200 individual medley. The swimmers are coming out to the blocks. This is the multi-classification event. We've got 9 swimmers going in this one. There in lane 0 from Inverness is Lachlan Macbeth. He's swimming SM14. Beside him, Kyle Hughes from Motherwell and Wishaw, swimming SM9, so physical disability. Another SM14 learning impairment swimmer from East Lothian, Christian Buchanan. He's actually sporting a Musselburgh cap. That's his club within East Lothian. Oliver Carter, he's been in great form this week. Broken a number of S10 records, so he'll be going SM10 for Carnegie. He's maybe the favourite for this one, although perhaps the swimmer next to him might disagree. That's Connor Morrison of the University of Aberdeen Performance Team, swimming SM14. Chap Milne, also SM14 from Dundee City Aquatics, is in 5. John Law, SM13, so visual impairment swimmer from Helensburgh. Then Adam Wyborn, SM10 from Billingham, and Adam Donachie from South Lanarkshire. He swims SM8. So away we go. As I'm sure Paul has explained to you in the previous 2 days of competition, it's not necessarily the one who is first to the wall who wins this. There's a points process that tries to even out the different disabilities based on proximity to the world record in that event and that category. So it will be the points that will decide this, but as you can see, it's very, very close indeed. Coming up to the 50, the touch at the 50 going to Jap Milne. He's having a really superb season, and he goes through 31.06, a tenth ahead of John Law. So the two swimmers that I was featuring early on, Oliver Carter and Connor Morrison, currently in 3rd and 4th, so they'll have a bit of catching up to do in the latter stages, because at the moment it is Chap Milne in 5 in the pink cap and John Law beside him in the dark blue, who are setting the pace here, although Connor Morrison is starting to go. And Alan, I would expect Connor to really push on strongly in the breaststroke that's just coming up.
Yeah, he's had a great season on breaststroke, beating the Olympic Paralympic silver medalist Scott Quinn at a meet recently, and certainly has been in sparkling form. He's made the B final of the 100 breaststroke later on this evening, and I'm sure will push on in this 50.
And I think we're seeing that now as he just moves past Jack Milne. So he's come from third to first. That's the halfway markers there of the length. So still got, what, nearly 15 metres, just over 50 metres to go in breaststroke before they turn into freestyle. And you can see now he has a body length lead. His swim in the heats was 2:24.32. So we'll see how he compares against that. Turning for home 1:51.43. Of course, they didn't really have much competition to qualify for this final, so it could have been easing back in the heats.
It's a great opportunity for all of the swimmers to get heats and final swims at this National Open Championship. They will be preparing to, certainly the better swimmers, challenge for a place on the World Championship team later in the year in Mexico.
Jack Milne is coming back at him a bit. He's really giving it a good push here. So this is a solid swim from Jack. He came in with a 2:28 entry time, so I think he's going to improve on that. So 2:26.08 the winning time for Connor. In the end, he was only 2/10 ahead of Jack Milne. 2:26.29 for him. And Oliver Carter, 2:30.61 is third to the wall. But as I said, we just have to wait to see what the points calculations are as the other swimmers come in. So fourth was John Law, fifth Adam Wyborn, very close there in lanes 1 and 2. Carl Hughes and Christian Buchanan coming in. Christian Buchanan just edging that one by 800ths, and Adam Donachie and Lachlan Macbeth will be next in. So we just have a look at some of the swimmers there. You can see up at the top of your screen, that is Adam Donachie. So he is coming into the last 10 metres now. Did a 3:24 this morning. He's going to be pretty much that time again this evening. In fact, slightly faster, 3:23.46. And Lachlan Macbeth completes the field. He's quite a bit faster than he was this morning, 3:26 against 3:33 earlier. There you go. There's the board up for you. 2:26.08 the winning time. Connor Morrison, Jack Milne, Oliver Carter. We'll see whether we do have the points calculation yet. Still waiting for it, so that should come up shortly as these swimmers just make their way out of the pool. We go to our B final up next, so introduce the swimmers. Jonah Walsh in 0, Andrew McIntosh in 1, Jamie McDonald in 2, Liam Birrell in 3, Fraser Allison in 4, Alistair Miley in 5, Dan Wilson in 6, Callum Chittlebury in 7, Rory Dixon in 8, Angus Allison in 9. So these swimmers, 2:14 up to 2:17. Good start in lane 5. Alistair Miley, of course, part of the Miley clan, and so no surprise to see strong individual medley swimming coming out of the Miley household. And Alistair has got off to a very strong start here in the butterfly. He's well clear, a couple of metres clear at the turn.
I think he'll be disappointed not to make the championship final. Of course, talking of swimming families, we've got the the Allison family bragging rights at stake here in this Trinidad IM with Fraser and Angus competing against each other.
Yes, Fraser would not wish to see any nonsense coming from his younger brother. They swim for different clubs as well in Edinburgh, Warrender and Inverleith. It just adds a little more spice to it. 59.16 then, the halfway split for Alistair Miley. So still quite a long way clear, around 3 seconds clear. Third place, Fraser Allison. There you can see Fraser in the red cap of Warrender, and he will, I think, be a threat in the breaststroke side of this. He was the fastest qualifier for this B final, but he's got an awful lot of work to do to catch Alistair now, although he is starting to make inroads. Also coming very nicely there Andrew McIntosh, another specialist breaststroker in lane 1 for South Lanarkshire. So he is right up in the mix as well. So suddenly there's a race on here as they turn into freestyle 1:40.11. It's Andrew McIntosh who got the split there, a couple of tenths ahead. So that's very close then. Fraser Allison right in the mix as well. We saw some strong distance freestyle from him in the earlier days of competition. So who's going to get this one? This is up for grabs as they come in through the last 15 metres. Let's see who is going to get it. So coming in then, it's on the touch. It's going to be Andrew McIntosh in 2:11.03.
Great stuff, great race there across the pool. Those three boys within 3/4 of a second of each other. Andrew McIntosh getting the touch, as you can see there on the scoreboard. Significant improvements by all of those leading contenders, and a nice win from lane number 1 from Andrew McIntosh, South Lanarkshire.
Yeah, very, very close there as they came in. I thought Fraser Allison was maybe going to get that back on the freestyle, but no, it wasn't to be. So that's the result on the B final. So we wait for the A finalists to come up. Just going back to the multi-classification event, I can tell you that the final order was first Connor Morrison, second Jack Milne, and third Ollie Carter. So that was the 1, 2, 3 there. So we just wait for the A finalist to come on.
That shot just proves that it isn't only the swimmers who watch their mobile phones on poolside. A couple of our coaches there, Phil Potter and Ian Wright, comparing notes on the swims.
Yep, West Lothian fraternity there, as we have the swimmers now coming onto the blocks. So the finalists here, we've got London aquatic swimmer James Slade in lane 0. In lane 1, it's Joseph Miley of University of Aberdeen Performance Team, so another Miley. George Clough goes for Warrender in lane 2. Callum Laurie from the University of Stirling in lane 3. Lane 4, Jarvis Parkinson from London Aquatics. In lane 5, Martin Walton from the University of Stirling. In lane 6, Thomas Peribonio from Edinburgh University. Lane 7 is the youngster Archie Goodburn from Warrender. Lane 8, Matthew Richards, another youngster from the Royal Wolverhampton School. And in lane 9, a third youngster, junior swimmer from West Lothian, Daniel Ferguson. So 3 youngsters over on the far side will be having their own battle, I think. But well, Jarvis Parkinson, their fastest qualifier, but half a second or so faster than Walton in the heats. Probably you'd fancy Parkinson, I don't know. What do you think?
He does have the best, personal best time, fastest time of the field. But Walton's been in good form, and I think we'll be looking to challenge him here.
So we'll see how it works out then. They're in the centre lanes. Jarvis Parkinson in the dark cap in lane 4, and Martin Walton beside him in the other yellow lane. And it is Martin looks to have got the strongest start here. He is up by, well, over a metre, I think, as they come up towards the 50. Of course, we saw that fly doesn't necessarily give you the race. We saw that from Alistair Miley in the B final, was well out at this stage, and in the end got overhauled. But Martin certainly playing to his strengths here, went through there with a clear lead and holding, in fact increasing that lead, I think, in the backstroke leg. Moving up now, Thomas Peribonio. Don't know too much about Thomas. He's just come to the Edinburgh programme, Ecuadorian swimmer. He has represented Ecuador at the highest level, so we'll see what he can do, and he'll be looking forward, I think, to really benefiting from the Edinburgh programme. But it is Martin Walton. 55-25 was his split at halfway, and he's still got a good lead, but the others now, I think, will start to try and pull him back in the breaststroke. Let's see if that's going to happen. I think the gap is definitely closing. Both Peribonio and Parkinson are coming at him, probably particularly Peribonio, He is just about on terms now, so the two of them, as we come towards the end of the breaststroke, very close, but it's Parabonian now who hits the front, but Parkinson is right there as well. George Clough had a good breaststroke leg as well down there in lane 2, but well, it does look like it's going to be these three in the middle of the pool, and maybe Walton's day is done in this one, because it looks like it's between Parkinson and Parabonio now. The two of them coming down the pool, much of a muchness here. Parabonio still has the advantage, maybe by about a metre as they come in. 10 metres to go. Can Parabonio hold on to this? Because Parkinson is coming right back at him as they come to the wall. Who gets it? It is Jarvis Parkinson by 1/100th of a second. 2:02.20. Parabonio 2:02.21. You don't get closer than that without a dead heat. Martin Walton taking, well, no, in fact, George Clough taking third, 2:05.67. Martin Walton, having led through the first half, just 5th place there. Bit of a shock, that.
Paid the price, I think, of that early speed out in 55 seconds. An excellent split at the 100 mark, but certainly far, far too fast for his ability to bring it back home. It's a really encouraging swim from George Clough in third. Of course, off to the World Junior Championships in Indianapolis at the end of the summer in late August, and that for a mid-season swim, despite that glide in the finish, will be an encouraging performance for him and his coach.
Yep, so he will be the Scottish champion. What a great race that was to get us going in our first A final. But we go back to the multi-classification athletes now, and this is women's 400 freestyle. There are 4 swimmers going in this one. You're looking at Jenny Hunter from South Lanarkshire swimming S8, and beside her, City of Oxford's Rosie Bancroft, the Scot from Oxford, swimming S10. Also S10 beside her from Best the Borders team is Beth Johnson, and Laura Pilkington completes the field. There's Beth, and there on the right hand side is Laura. Laura's been in cracking form, breaking S6 Scottish records. I think there's 3 from memory that she's got so far this week, so we'll see. I think it's a bit of an ask really to get this one. This is probably not her strongest event, but well, let's just wait and see. Rosie Bancroft, I think, will be the hot favourite for this. Rosie has been part of the Scottish Elite programme for a while. She's, as I said, S10 swimmer, as is the swimmer next to her, Beth Johnson. So this is a straight race between these two. There was quite a difference in their times in this morning's heats, 4:54 for Rosie and 5:35 for Beth. We'll see whether Beth can stay anywhere close to Rosie. You can see Rosie now just starting to open up the gap as we come through the 15. 34.57 for her. She leads by about 1.8 now. 36.32 as Beth Johnson split there. You see the two of them now, well, some water now starting to appear between them as they come down. Of course, 8 lengths of the pool in this one, so halfway down the second length. And Rosie Bancroft certainly will be a strong favourite here.
Irrespective of what the final time is for these swimmers, the way in which they swim it is crucial. Just whether you're Camilla Hattersley in the championship final or these girls here swimming a little bit slower, they still have to gauge their pace, they still have to make sure the stroke is efficient, work in and out of the turns, and make sure that they have something left at the end to finish off a solid race. So Rosie will be looking to go significantly under 5 minutes, and she's doing a pretty good job of being on pace for that at the moment.
Yes, so 1:10.84 was her 100 split. We'll keep an eye on how those splits go. So coming up to the 150, 147, so that was around 37 for her third 50. So we'll see if she can maintain the sort of pace. If she does, we'll be looking at something around 2:25 for her 200 split. So we'll just keep an eye on that as she comes down. You can see now just she's got a very, very big lead as we just focus on Rosie here. Coming up to the halfway point. So I said 2:25, bang on cue, 2:25.29. So she's maintaining a pretty nice level pace here.
So that's 1:13.5
So we'll see whether she can keep this one going. 400 freestyle. How do you swim this? Because I mean, it's not really a distance event, but it's a very long middle distance event, if you like, so you've got to manage it, I suppose.
Middle distance, the classical way of swimming it would be as even pace as possible. If you can even try and negative split it, that would be fantastic, but looking like an even pace swim at the moment from Rosie, and should be hopefully around about the 340 mark as she comes up to this 300 metre turn.
So she is very much now herself against the clock. The other swimmer's way off. You can see she's lapping there. So we saw there Laura Pilkington going through the shot. 3:39.55, so keeping up those 1:14s. So another of those. You'd expect her probably to get a little bit of a sprint down the final length, so let's say she could get a 1:12 for her final 100, then we'll be talking about 5:51, 4:51, 4:52. I don't think she'd be happy with 5:51.
I'm sure she wouldn't. If you take away the allowance for a dive start, then that is pretty much on even pace for all of her 50s, and I'm sure that's what she and her coach Amanda Daly would be looking for.
4:16 then, so that again is consistent pacing. So now she'll want to try and use whatever she has left to give and really work hard down this last length, find whatever extra pace she can. She'll be very conscious that she just has to keep her concentration going all the way through to the end. So, you know, for nearly 5 minutes, just to keep that concentration absolutely at top notch. So this is a good swim, just over the 4:50, so 4:52.44. So excellent stuff from her. She did a 4:54 in the heats this morning, so that's 2 seconds or so progression from heats to finals. And she'll have a fair old rest now as the remaining swimmers come in, so Laura still will have another lap to go as she comes through, but you can see here that it is Beth Johnson who is going to be next in. She did a 5:35 this morning. The clock just coming up to 5:30 now, so she's going to be around about that again, maybe just slightly off the morning pace. Quite tough to swim 2 400s in the same day, particularly if you're not really used to doing that, and a lot of these younger swimmers would probably swim 400s as a heat declared winner event rather than a heat and final.
And I think that's an excellent point to make in terms of the experience that any of the aspirational international swimmers within this group have to come here to race hard in the morning, to get some rest in the afternoon, and have to come back and do it all again in the evening. So it's a fantastic opportunity for them in this integrated event at the National Open Championships, and I'm sure will stand them all in good stead for their career.
So this is Jenny Hunter that we're looking at here, the S8 swimmer from South Lanarkshire. So her final turn, 6:16 there. She did a 7:18 this morning, so she has made a lot of big improvements to her time over the course of this week, and I think this might be another one here, because you'd expect her to be under the minute for this final 50. So let's just keep an eye on that. The clock coming up to about 6:45 now. She's just gone through this halfway marker. So I would think this is going to be 7:15 maybe, or slightly less than that. Hopefully she can confound me and be even faster than that. You can see there, not too far to go. The flag's there in view as she goes under them. And in fact, she is going to be faster than what useless prediction that was from me. 7:07.98, so great stuff there. And our final swimmer coming in is Laura Pilkington. So she's also, I think, going to be much, much faster than she was earlier on. She did an 8:24 this morning. The clock has only just come to 7:30 here, so this is going to be massively faster. She must have just been coasting this morning. So good swim from her, 7:35 at 0.2. And as we did with the 200 IM earlier, we'll have to wait for the times to be calculated into points. There's the times up there for you, and we'll let you know as soon as we can just what that final order is. And that will happen, I'm sure, very shortly. There's Rosie coming in. Just maintained her stroke very nicely through that. Good consistent swimming from Rosie there. So on to the B final. You're looking, well, I'm not sure who you're looking at. Looks like a Nova swimmer. That must be Molly Wright there, who's in the centre lane in the B final. Here's the full field. So we are, well, we should be looking at Emma Russell, I thought, in lane 0, but I don't see Emma there, the Heart of Midlothian swimmer. In fact, it's lanes 5 and 6 that we're looking at there. So they are Amelia Morn and Alicia Dingle from Keynsham and Royal Wolverhampton School, respectively. Run through the field once they get going. And there you can see them all. So we have Emma Russell of Hearts in 0, Katie Taylor of Hearts in 1, Kirsty Stewart going for University of Aberdeen Performance Team in 2, Chanel Snedden of First in 3, Molly Wright of Nova Centurion in 4. Then we have the two that we were showing in before the race started, Amelia Morn of Keynsham and Alicia Dingle from Wolverhampton School. Rebecca Reid goes for University of Aberdeen in 7, Lauren Wetherill of City of Glasgow in 8, and Nova Centurion's Annie Pearson is in lane 9. Amelia Morn touches first, so our producer knew what he was doing looking at Amelia before the start. 30-37, the split there. It's not a much of a lead. There's, what, 4 or 5 swimmers all very, very close here, coming down towards the 100. This certainly is going to be much closer than we saw in the MC final. The heat times were 4:28 up to 4:36, so an 8-second spread between 1st and 10th here. 1:03.44 for Amelia Morn. But still very, very close. 3/10 up on Kirsty Stewart, who turned 2nd place. She's in the white cap there in the first of the blue lanes on the right hand side, now on the left hand side as they come towards us. Still you can see there it is Amelia Morn with the advantage in lane 5. She came up to our championships last year. She was in the A final last year, in fact just missed a medal. She was 4th. So again, as you said earlier, probably a little disappointed to find herself in this B final, but it's the 2nd swim and you've got to make the most of it, Alan.
You have, and that's why they're here to race, and they're here to learn and improve whatever. Sometimes it's easier to you would never want as a coach the swimmer to be in the B final, but if you're leading a race, it's a different tactical, different responsive swim that you have to perform, and maybe being out front is something that she can benefit from. Young Kirsty Stewart there in the white cap in around 3rd or 4th place in an excellent relay split the other night in the winning team for Aberdeen, University of Aberdeen Performance, and I'm sure she'll be looking to go strongly towards her personal best time with the 2 Hearts girls on her right hand side.
So Kirsty Stewart in fact turned 3rd at the halfway mark. Molly Wright just edged past her in lane 4, the Nova Centurion swimmer, so another one perhaps who would have hoped to have been in the A final. She was in the Tokyo Target 2020 final in the British Championship, so a very promising prospect for the future in British swimming. But she's quite a way behind Amelia. These two now have opened up a fair gap. That was quite a significant length, that one from 200 to 250. And these two have maybe just broken the back of the rest of the field. And, well, it's hard at the moment to see past Amelia Morn. Came into this meet with a time of 4:20. In fact, Molly Wright came in with a slightly faster time than that, 4:18. So we'll see whether she can mount any sort of challenge in the final 100. She's got a lot of ground to make up. 3:16.82 for Amelia, 3:19.05 for Molly, so over 2 seconds the gap there. So that's a big ask. Let's see how it works out though. Don't see too much happening. behind her, Chanel Snedden has now moved into third place in lane 3. You can see her there on the left-hand side of your screen in the blue cap. You can see just beside her Kirsty Stewart that we were talking about earlier. So heading for home then. Amelia Morn, 3:50.03. She's in fact increased her lead now to 3 seconds. So I think she's got this one in the bag now. And then as we focus on her, it looks like a Bath cap. So she must train at the University of Bath, even though she's entered for Keynsham, because Keynsham very close to Bath. But this is going to be, I think, a fairly straightforward victory for her. The question is, how fast she'll be? And I guess the English swimmers using this as a preparation meet really for what's to come in the summer down south. And 4:23.35 was her time, so 5 seconds faster than her time this morning. So coming in on a 4:23 at this point of the season, I guess should be happy enough with that probably.
I think so, probably significantly better than she did this morning, and she swam it really well, paced it very well, and out front made sure that she made the race her own, and good skills at the finish, head down. Good job.
So we are just getting ready now for our A final, championship final in the women's 400 freestyle. And going in lane 0, that's certainly not the swimmer ready to go. We're looking at the Warrender contingent there, I think. So there is a Warrender swimmer going in lane 0, and that is Rasheen Ramsey. Next to her, Iona McLeod of Dundee City Aquatics had a great 1500 yesterday. Tia Ward, another really strong youngster, goes for City of Leeds in lane 2. And back from America to swim in these championships, representing South Lanarkshire here, is Meg Finnan in lane 3. Silver medalist in the 800 yesterday. Camilla Hattersley goes beside her. We were talking about her at the beginning of the show. Going in lane 4 for City of Glasgow. Next to her, Nikki Miller, another South Lanarkshire swimmer in lane 5. Then we have Alice Alcaraz of University of Aberdeen in 6. Hayley Grant from Dundee City Aquatics in 7. Melanie Hall from the Royal Wolverhampton School in lane 8. And Jess Thompson goes for University of Aberdeen in lane 9. So fastest, only by half a second or so, Camilla Hattersley. I would expect probably that she'll be further ahead than that by the end of this one, but well, she showed some good form in the 800. Let's see what she does in the 400. So she was 4th in the British Championships in this one, of course, Olympian. And away they go. So the A final of the women's 400 freestyle, and straight away out of the dive. How is it that one swimmer can come out of the dive maybe a metre or so ahead of the others? Because presumably they all work on their starts and will be pushing a similar strength, you think, off the board. So it's just about technique through the water as they come out of the dive.
It is, and Camilla's a particularly effective starter. Always has been, and certainly gaining an advantage over her younger rivals off the start there. A good first 50 split for her, under 30 seconds, 29.59. Looking to establish an early rhythm and lead, and pretty much leave the rest of the field behind her as she attempts to get a really solid swim in this 400 freestyle this evening.
Good start also in lane 8, Melanie Hall from the Royal Wolverhampton School. So she is certainly making a bit of an early statement, just impeded by the event banner at the moment, but keep an eye on her as well. She's around a second behind Camilla at the 100. 101.12 is Camilla's split. 102.05 for Melanie. Third place at the 100, Nikki Miller of South Lanarkshire, just ahead of Meg Finnan. So they are the group, and there's a number of other swimmers involved as well still, a few metres behind them, but Camilla Hattersley lead now starting to stretch. It's around 3 metres at the 150, 132.84, so around about 31.7 for that 50. And 3-4 metres up now, and you would think as this progresses now that lead is only going to grow. So we saw fairly convincing win for Amelia Morn in the B final. Looks like we're going to see something fairly similar here. Camilla coming up to halfway. Just to give you an idea, Amelia went through halfway in 2:10.43, so you can see this is substantially faster, 2:04.85, so around about just over 63.5 for her second 100.
32.0 for that 50, just falling off the 31 point pace for that 50. She's trying to pick it up again here, and I'm sure she's going to attempt to push this on as close to her best time as she can. I think her season's best of 4:11, if I'm not mistaken, and she certainly should be capable of going inside that.
So 2:36.95 at the 250. Her lead now is 3.5 seconds. Nikki Miller now has moved into second place, and Jessica Thompson over right up at the top of the lane is in third place. Just see her legs there up at the top of the screen in the white cap there. So she'd love to get on the podium for this one. Let's see if she can do that out of the outside lane. That would be a little feather in her cap. But 300 meters, 3:09.39. So around about 64.5 that time. So as you said, maybe the pace just slipping off a little bit, Alan. But well, what do you think? A 62 to finish on and a 4:11-ish or something like that? Well, we'll wait and see.
We certainly hope she'll be able to finish that strongly, but 4:12 is probably just within our grasp here this evening. It's tough for her. She's effectively swimming a time trial. She's got no competition really after that excellent start that you picked up on, Duncan, and she'll be attempting to get back in 31 seconds, which will take her just into the 4:12s.
Okay, so no doubt I think it's going to add the championship crown for 400 to the one she's already got on 800. And second place though, Nikki Miller, 3:46.76, and then 3 seconds behind her still Jessica Thompson in third place. We'll see whether she can hang on to that, but it's Camilla Hattersley coming in 4:13.10, so just not quite managing that 4:12, but well, 7.5 seconds faster than she was this morning, so certainly got the progression bit going. Nikki Miller did take second, and it was Alice Alcaraz who got through past her teammate Jessica Thompson. Well, I wonder what will be said back in the University of Aberdeen camp about that. It must have a cracking finish there, that final 50 from Alice to get that. So we'll see her on the podium shortly, along with Camilla and Nikki. And I think that will mean that Alice will be the junior champion as well, because she is, oh no, she's actually 17, so we'll just need to figure out who the junior champion is.
Roisin Ramsey, I think.
Was Roisin ahead of Iona McLeod? I didn't see. But we'll give you that very shortly. So that was 400 freestyle. We'll be going to the podium next, but you can see what's still to come. Men's 100 breaststroke and women's 100 backstroke will be our next couple of events. So as I said, we are featuring Ewan Ingalls and Chris Kerr, who swam well this weekend. Also might give Ewan a good run for his money, I would think, in this 100 breaststroke.
They're great friends, they're great rivals. Have been going at it hammer and tongs all season. Ewan had the edge at the British Championships, but Chris has swum particularly well this week, and I think we'll be looking to challenge Ewan for the title.
Toby Mackay, champion as well, had a super 200 breast yesterday. So yeah, it could be very competitive. But here come the multi-classification athletes in the 200 individual medley, and there is Ollie Carter from Carnegie. He picks up the bronze medal. Time of 2:30.61. The silver medalist there. And it is Jack Milne from Dundee City Aquatics. Suspect that isn't actually Jack. I think that's a club teammate that's picking up his, and I think they've got the same going on here as well. So Jack and Connor are obviously going straight into the swim down pool. They've obviously got more competition to come. But
in fact, Jack's in the next race and Connor in the next but one.
Well, that explains that then. Absolutely, the priority is very much about getting their preparation right for they're racing and the ceremonials can be left to a teammate. Next up, the 200 IM able-bodied swimmers, and the bronze medalist there, George Clough. So he's got a big summer ahead of him, hasn't he?
He certainly has. Indianapolis beckons for him, and he'll be looking to improve on that. Very good 2:05 swim in this event. Very, very strong in-season performance from George.
Thomas Peribonio there getting the silver medal. We talked about him, just newly arrived in the Edinburgh University programme. And Jarvis Parkinson from London Aquatics. Well, you can't ask for a nicer training environment, I wouldn't think, than the London pool.
Well, premier facility, I think, in the country. Rather expensive, I think, to get into, but wonderful, wonderful. Designed by the sadly now departed Zaha Hadid, world famous architect. Just a beautiful, beautiful building.
Yeah, almost as nice as the Aberdeen Sports Village. And there's our junior champion, and he has been mopping up quite a few of these junior medals. Archie Goodburn from Warren de Baths. So another one to put onto the trophy cabinet. That's going to be fairly full by now, and I'm sure there's a lot more to come from Archie, one of our real promising youngsters, off to the Olympic Festival.
European Youth Olympic Festival in Hungary. All roads lead to Hungary this summer, it appears, with the World Championships in Budapest. Archie is taking part in that event and against the best 16 and under boys in Europe, and he's looking forward very much to matching himself against people from across the continent.
Yeah, very interesting. Really a first opportunity for international competition for the youngsters. Move on to the 400 freestyle medalists now. So this is the multi-classification swimmers. Laura Pilkington is the bronze medalist, and that's a teammate of Laura's, so she clearly is straight back into the swim down pool. She's got 100 backstroke coming up shortly. And at the end we've got, I think, well, maybe that is Beth, is it? Beth Johnson from Best? I don't think it is.
No, it's not.
No, I think that's Sarah Frizzell that was picking up her medal. And the gold medalist to Rosie Bancroft from City of Oxford. So our 400 freestyles, quite a busy MC program tonight. There's quite a lot of finals, MC finals. Saw a good number yesterday. Only saw one in the first night, I think, so making up for that in the latter days. And here we have the swimmers who are just out the pool but got themselves ready for their presentations. Once they sort themselves out, that's the way they're going. And that's a super performance from Alice Alcaraz there from University of Aberdeen Performance. She looks pretty happy with it, and rightly so. Bronze medal, I think probably her first Open Championship medal. Silver medalist there is Nikki Miller from South Lanarkshire, another who's having a superb season, another one who is bound off for international competition. And we'll be hoping that Camilla Hattersley, she's off to the University Games, is that right?
She is. World University Games in Taiwan at the very end of the summer, 23rd to the 28th of August, with the British team, several other Scots featuring in that, and many other international teams this summer, so lots of action.
And looking for who that junior medalist is, and I think it's Iona McLeod, but I don't see her up there, so I don't know quite what has happened to Iona. I think I can see her looking at the pool, maybe just running down, but she might have just missed the boat here, but I'm sure they'll find a way to get her medal. There you can see her walking down there towards the podium area. So anyway, we'll sort that out, but I think we'll be moving on now. And as I said, it's men's 100 breaststroke up next. Now, we've got a slight complication with our multi-classification events, because two of our multi-classification athletes have actually qualified for the B final, so we won't be able to call a winner in this race. There's going to be 5 athletes going in the multi-classification final, but as I said, 2 more to come who've made it all the way to the B able-bodied final. So hold your horses once this one's done. But these 5 swimmers, there's Adam Donachie, the SB7 swimmer from South Lanarkshire. Beside him, John Law goes for Helensburgh. SB13, Chap Milne, so as we saw, not on the podium because here he is preparing for his next swim for Dundee City Aquatics, SB14. Then we have Lewis Beagrie of Hamilton Baths, SB9 swimmer, and completing the field, Carl Hughes, another SB9 from Motherwell and Wishaw. So Chap Milne did a 1:21.16 100 breaststroke. I suppose he's had a moderate amount of time. We've seen 300-400, so he's had, what, 15 to 20 minutes to recover from his, and plus 200 IMs before that as well, but since his swim. So he's had a reasonable amount of recovery time. Is it enough? It
is enough. They will have been in the diving pool as it is normally, but the swim down pool for this competition and done whatever sufficient number of metres is or amount of time is for them to recover. The swimmers are all trained to do multiple events, which is why it's great to have this experience this weekend, and I'm sure he's got plenty of gas left in the tank here.
And John Law looks like he means business from the start there. He got an excellent start there. He's the oldest swimmer in the group, the 20-year-old from Helensburgh, and using that experience to good effect here, certainly really setting the standard. So let's see whether he can keep this one going. He wasn't the fastest qualifier in the heats. He did a time of 1:32, but as we said, they all knew that they were going to get a second swim, so didn't really need to go all guns blazing this morning. We'll see whether Jack can come back at him in the second half. So the halfway split was 36.85, a lead of nearly 2 seconds over Milne. Third place there you can see on the right of your screen was Lewis Beagrie. There, HB proudly displayed on his cap, Hamilton Baths. But, well, John Law of Helensburgh, that lead is shrinking a little bit, but it's still a pretty healthy lead to go, and I don't think there's going to be anything like enough pull time for Jack to be able to close it down, so it's going to be John Law first home. As I said, we have to wait for the point calculation. We also have to wait for the two swimmers that will be going in the B final before we can call a winner here, but John Law there, 1:19.45, so 1:32.15 he did in the heat, so it's definitely slacking off there in the heats, I think, Alan.
Having a word with his coach Neil Story, who himself was no bad breaststroker in his day as a young swimmer at Paisley. He, holding the reins at Helensburgh Swimming Club, will be pleased with that swim under 120, but I think a bit more effort required in the heats.
Right, you've heard it here. So if you're listening in Helensburgh, that's the message. And that was Andonaki coming in there, 2:02.42. He takes 2.5 seconds off his time from the heats. There is the 5 times. Law, Milne, Beagrie based on time. And as I said, we need to wait for these next swimmers who are going in this B final. And it's a shame in a way that they're quite a long way apart from each other, because it should be a cracking race between those two. They're going 0 Conor Morrison and 7 Scott Quinn, both SB14, so whoever of those two is first home you'd expect will be the gold medalist. Of course, Scott Quinn, silver medalist in the Paralympics in Rio. But looking there at Morgan Berriman, he was the fastest qualifier, 1:07.94 for a University of Stirling swimmer. So we'll see whether he can take it. There was only 600s between him and Andrew Hosey of West Lothian, and then another 500s to Jonathan Milner. So this could be very close indeed, this B final. So silence for the start. And away they go. So running through the field, we've got Conor Morrison of University of Aberdeen. He is the SB14 swimmer in 0. Andrew McIntosh, South Lanarkshire in 1. Chuck McComish of City of Glasgow in 2. Jonathan Milner of City of Leeds in 3. Morgan Berriman, as we said, of University of Stirling in 4. Andrew Hosey of West Lothian in 5. Cameron Muir of South Ayrshire in 6. Scott Quinn of Warrender in 7, so the other SB14 swimmer. And Fraser Allison on his second outing of the night goes in lane 8. So Jack McComish leads the way. Deaf swimmer, he's going to the World Deaf Championships, I believe, later this year.
He is indeed, and he's also been swimming very well this season already. Had a fantastic fundraising event for him in Glasgow several weeks ago and raised the money necessary to send Jack to those Deaf World Championships. Very appreciative and showing his form here.
Yeah, but this is really tight now. Lane 3, Jonathan Milner in the yellow cap of City of Leeds. Maybe just has the edge here. Just keep an eye on the time. This is really, really close, but McComish coming back at him, and he gets it, 106.96. Oh, that was good racing from McComish there. Milner second, 107.05, and McIntosh third, 107.29. And if we look at the two SB14 swimmers, 108.07 for Scott Quinn, and 110.59 for Connor Morrison. So Scott Quinn getting the clear advantage there. You can see him up there in the darker red cap. He's not in the other red Warrender cap. That was Fraser Allison. So you can see there Scott Quinn well clear of Connor Morrison. As I said, shame they weren't side by side in a way, but good swims, good solid swims from the two of them. It is.
I spoke to Scott just before I came upstairs to this broadcast, and he was very positive about his chances this evening. He'd be pleased with that. 6.80, 32.1 out, so just under the 36 seconds back for the second 50. It's always a strong finisher, Scott Quinn, and that will set him up really nicely for the World Championship trials in Sheffield in just a few short weeks' time.
Yep, so excellent stuff there. So we'll be getting ourselves ready for the A final now. We'll just wait for those swimmers to be called out onto the blocks.
You have the results from that MC final. Gold medalist Scott Quinn, silver medalist Connor Morrison.
So I'm hearing that the order in the MC, so Scott Quinn first, Connor Morrison second, and Jack Milne third. So the SB14 swimmers 1, 2 and 3 in that one. But here we come for the men's 100 breaststroke final. And they're coming on to the pool side now. There in lane 0 is the City of Glasgow swimmer Cameron Park. Beside him, another one on his second swim of the day. We've already seen him pick up a bronze medal. George Clough of Warrender. Callum Tate goes behind him, 200 breaststroke specialist, but going down the distance here for Edinburgh University. Then Tobermory Mackay champion for City of Oxford in lane 3, the Scot formerly from Perth. Ewan Ingalls, Edinburgh University, as you said, the 50 specialist, going up the distance he is, Edinburgh University. Chris Kerr of Warrender beside him in lane 6. Then another from Edinburgh University, Kieran Preston, is in lane 6. Daniel Lim, also from Edinburgh University, is in lane 7. Then we have City of Glasgow swimmer Andrew McFadden in lane 8, and completing the field, the West Lothian swimmer John Keane. John Keane Jr. from West Lothian, so barring any DQs, he will be the junior champion, having made it into the A final. There we see Ewan Ingalls, the fastest qualifier, did a 1:02.82 in this morning's heats. All have to be very still on the blocks, and all very disciplined there on the blocks as they head through. And well, you'd expect Ewan with his explosive pace to be strong in this first length, and well, he certainly does have the edge. It's not a huge lead coming down the first length. He's maybe half a metre up perhaps on Kerr, who's looking good, and also lane 2 Callum Tate is going some good speed. But it's going to be Ingalls and Kerr, 1 and 2. 29.20 for Ingalls, 29.43 for Kerr. Callum Tate did touch third. So, well, out of the turn, and that looked good for Chris Kerr there. He was very strong through the turn, so Ingalls now has to play a little bit of catch up here. Let's see whether he can do that, because Chris Kerr is looking, I would think this will be his first championship gold medal if he can hold on, but Ingalls is coming at him now as they come into the final 5 metres. There's not too much between these two. Can Kerr hold on? Oh, it's not. It's Ingalls who gets it. He absolutely nailed his finish there. 1:02.68. Chris Kerr 1:02.84, and Callum Tate taking third, 103.74. Well, Alan, that was... Well, I didn't think that Ewan was going to get that, did you?
I thought Chris Kerr came out of the turn superbly well, got himself into the lead, and then Ewan Ingalls, just with sheer will, managed to get himself back on level terms, and it was an excellent finish as he increased his stroke rate in that last 5 metres. But really, Chris Kerr did everything he possibly could to try and get that first championship win, and credit to Ewan Ingalls, he really held him off and pipped him on the touch.
Yeah, as you say, sheer will, and absolutely, almost as if he sort of lunged for the wall there at the end there, just to get those hands there before Chris Kerr. But he did it. Well done.
In his home city, of course, Ewan Ingalls, based in Edinburgh at the university, just finished his degree programme, but originally from Aberdeen, so he'll be delighted, as will his mother, who joins us along the table here as one of the announcers.
Yeah, one of the venue commentators today. We move to the women's 100 backstroke now. We have an MC final there, and you're looking at Laura Pilkington. So again, a reason why she wasn't on the podium, because she's going there in lane 3. Beside her is Beth Johnson from Best, the Borders team. Then we have Hope Gordon from East Lothian and Jenny Hunter from South Lanarkshire. Now Laura, who you're looking at, broke the Scottish record this morning for the Essex category, 1:56.59, the new standard time. There's Beth Johnson, waiting patiently for the whistle to go. It's going now, so they'll get the instruction to get into the water now. And there she is. I would imagine they're not particularly aware of that camera. And certainly if they are aware of it, they need to just completely ignore it and just focus on what they're doing. And away they go. You can see there Hope and Jenny. Hope Gordon, Jenny Hunter, the other two swimmers there in lanes 5 and 6. But it's Beth Johnson. So 1:20.71 from her in the heats. Not that far away from the S10 Scottish record. That stands at 1:19.38. We'll see whether she can get that. I think that's Tony Shaw that's got that record. She's not swimming this week, but despite the fact that we are in her home pool, she's focusing, I think, on events to come later in the summer. But it is around a 4-metre advantage for Beth Johnson at the half, 38.80. So that's a good solid start from her. 38.80. Can she come out in a... Well, she'd need what? 40.5 for the second half. That might just be slightly out of her reach. We'll see, but she can really push this one on. She'll not be a million miles away from it. You can see there Hope Gordon. She's swum pretty well this weekend as well. She's going in second place, but she certainly can't live with her Beth Johnson's pace. Of course, Beth's disability less severe than Hope's, S10 versus S9, but this is very much Beth's race, and comes in 1:19.70. So that was a great effort. That was pretty close to the record. The record, as I said, standing at 1:19.38, so only missed it by 3/10 there. Good stuff. Hope Gordon coming in 1:27.04, so a little bit slower than she was this morning. Probably a bit disappointed with that. And it's Jenny Hunter. We also need to keep this eye on Laura Pilkington, as I said. 1:56.59 was the record she set this morning. Coming up 5 metres to go. I think she might be a little slower this time. Let's see if she can do it. Oh, just outside it, 1:57.09, so half a second away from the record she set this morning. But another nice swim from Laura. That would have been the record if she'd swum it in the heats, but she swum them the opposite way round. It was so much better, wouldn't it?
It's always the way. That's the coach. You always try and reach for the positives.
So there's Beth coming in there, and that was a really tasty swim from Beth. She's coming into some form this season, Beth Johnson.
She is. She's probably more favoured on the backstroke events, and that's another good improvement from her. Good split, and the multiple event programme that these MC and indeed the able-bodied swimmers have is certainly proving to be very worthwhile.
And we can confirm that Beth Johnson does take the gold in that, with Hope Gordon second and Laura Pilkington third. So the same order as, well, not quite the same order as they came in. In fact, Laura Pilkington promoted to third place on points. So we're getting ready for the B final now. There you can see in lanes 5 and 6, Emily Grant of University of Stirling and Sophie Hobber of City of Leeds. As we did before, once they get started, I'll run through the full field. So they're off, and we have Ellie Turner, the 14-year-old from Carnegie, going in 0. Lauren Mackenzie of Edinburgh University in 1. Lee Ritchie of Warrender in 2. Megan Briggs from University of Stirling in 3. Caroline McIntosh, Aberdeen Performance in 4. Emily Grant of University of Stirling in 5. Sophie Hobber of City of Leeds in 6. Ellis Shields of Mulgai and Bearsden in 7. Erin Cummins, University of Stirling in 8, and Katie Henderson from Nova Centurion in lane 9. Caroline McIntosh, the fastest, only by 1500ths in the heats, 104.94, and she leads through halfway, 30.67. From second place over on the far side, Katie Henderson. So she's going very nicely, certainly down the first length, see if she can hold on to leading position. Still looks like Caroline though has the advantage, probably best known as a 50 backstroker, but here just going that double distance, and well, certainly looks to be in control of this. Nobody's going to touch her. She's a body length up as she comes in 103.86, a second faster than she was. Looks like Alan liked it.
Yeah, it was a good performance from Caroline. She's recently been training in Barcelona with her teammates, swam at the Mare Nostrum international meet there, getting some invaluable experience against some of the world's top swimmers in this event, and it's looked to have worked for her. That's a nice swim, 63 point this evening.
Emily Grant coming in second there, and Sophie Hobber was third. So we're seeing I thought we were seeing the A finalists coming out, but they seem to be a bit shy here.
Can't believe it, not this group.
Well, they're certainly not coming out. Here they come now, on their way. You just see them coming fast now as the other swimmers just getting themselves sorted. So in lane 0 there for Edinburgh University is Anna Newlands. Lane 1 from University of Stirling, Natasha Houghton. In lane 2 from Edinburgh University, Catherine Greenslade. In lane 3 from Aberdeen Performance, Kirsty Simpson. In 4, Elizabeth Simmons from Edinburgh University. We saw that beautiful 200 backstroke from her yesterday. Lucy Hope, who's having a great meet, goes in lane 5 for Edinburgh University. Then a great promising youngster, Cassie Wilde from Ellesmere College, goes in lane 6. Karen Reid is in 7 for Edinburgh University. And another very promising youngster in lane 8, and that's Lexi Waller from Heart of Midlothian. And completing the field back from the University of Missouri, and now representing South Lanarkshire, Jennifer King.
It's an illustrious field here. We have someone in the middle lane who was 4th in the Olympic Games. We have representatives this year at World University Games, World Junior Championships. This is probably one of the best fields of the evening.
So we just showed you a clip of Lizzie Simmons winning the 200 backstroke by a considerable margin. I don't think she'll have it quite as comfortable in this one, but we'll see. She's probably the favourite, although Lucy Hope, her training partner, will be wanting to prove me wrong on that one.
We had a great race in the 50 backstroke. Kathleen Dawson, who's missing from this field, just taking it, a new Scottish record, and very, very close behind her was Lucy Hope at 28.18. That's a good first 50 split. Out in front from Lizzie Simmons, 29.31.
That's very fast, isn't it, for the first split? So she is. Well, I said she wasn't going to have it so easy, but I might be wrong there. It looks like it's a pretty convincing performance from Lizzie Simmons. She is really coming into some strong form here. So let's see if she can just keep this going here. I don't think she'll have a problem with endurance, so I think this is going to be another very solid performance from Lizzie Simmons. It comes in, very nearly got under the minute there, 1:00:10 for her. Lucy Hope takes silver, 1:01:36, with Cassie Wilde there, 1:01.87. That was a strong swim from Cassie there. So excellent stuff from her. The record. So you can see there, dominating performance there from Lizzie. I thought it might be a bit closer than that, but well, really showed a class. I think she was gunning to go under the minute.
Yeah, she'll be really pleased with that. She's better known as a 200-metre swimmer, and has certainly come back into form with that 2:08 in the 200 backstroke last night. She'll be pleased with that, 60.1, and I'm sure by the time season's end comes around, she'll be well under 60 seconds, adding to the prowess of female backstroke swimming in Great Britain.
Yes, certainly. So you can see we've got 200s coming up next. We've got some medal presentations before that. Men's 200 backstroke followed by women's 200 breaststroke. So should be some good racing in both of those. Men's 200 backstroke will feature the likes of McNally, Warren Ballard, Mark Sharanek, another one off to the World Championships. And the 200 breaststroke, Victoria Guinness, Hannah Miley, Georgia Coates. So enough to make your mouth water.
It is. It's been a great evening so far, as has been established the last couple of evenings. Some great racing and also some very, very impressive in-season times.
Yep, so we have our first presentation. So this is the multi-classification presentation for the men's 100 breaststroke. Looks like we might be missing one of them, aren't we? That's Chap Milne from Dundee City Aquatics. So this time he is at the podium in his own right. Andy Figgins there, South Lanarkshire's head coach and Scottish Swimming Board director, making these presentations. And there we have Conor Morrison, so they are all present and correct. University of Aberdeen Performance Team. And Scott Quinn. I think maybe we'd just be happy to have maybe laid the ghost of the British Para International, where Conor just nicked it from him. So this time it's Scott who takes the honours back here in Scotland on Conor's home turf.
Indeed. I think that's Scott with a t-shirt with his own image on the front and on the back, in that unassuming way that he has.
Yes, a mild, unassuming sort of character. It's always got a pleasant word, but I've never seen Scott miserable.
Oh, well, unless Hibs get beat.
Well, that doesn't happen very often. Speaking as a Hibbie myself, but we'll not go there. Here is the senior presentation. Callum Tate there from University of Aberdeen. Showing some good speed there. That bodes well for his 200 thing. It's a sort of solid 200. He has a consideration time in the Commonwealth Games for 200, doesn't he? We've got 3 already now with consideration times in that event.
We do have, indeed. It's a medal-winning formula for us in the past, with Michael Jameson, of course, Ross Murdoch, and Craig Benson also qualifying. So we've got a bit of strength and depth in that event for next year.
Yeah, Chris Kerr there, the silver medalist, and Ewan Ingalls, the bronze medalist, and there's the junior medalist, John Keane. That was an excellent race, wasn't it, between Ewan and Chris?
It was. The smile says it all. I think Ewan knows that he stole it from his friend and international teammate.
Chris looks fairly sanguine about it. Ewan looks delighted, to be honest.
He does. He really does. He's having an excellent season with that Commonwealth Games qualification standard in Sheffield, behind the world record holder and Olympic champion Adam Peaty. So nice to be at the top of the podium this time.
Yes, certainly was. So we now start to focus on 200s. We don't have... Oh, well, pardon me, we've got more presentations to come. I was forgetting about the ladies. So this is the multi-classification presentation for 100 backstroke. So Laura Pilkington, as I said, she broke a record, Scottish record in the heats, 1:56.59, and picks up the bronze medal there. Silver medalist Hope Gordon of East Lothian swim team. And that excellent swim from Beth Johnson earns her the gold medal. And it is very nice to see Beth returning to form, because she probably had a year or so where things weren't going terribly well for her, and certainly seems to have got through that now and is really on the up again.
She really does. She's obviously delighted with that performance, and in the way that's been established over the last couple of evenings. This is the MC medal winning shot.
The crouch.
The crouch, indeed.
And it's lovely to see Laura swimming so well as well. She's quite an experienced swimmer in SM6 and swimming her very best that she ever has. Good crowd in tonight.
Very good crowd in tonight, yes. Maybe a British Lions jersey there in the top left. Of course, fantastic win for them this morning in New Zealand.
So one more presentation in this sequence. You've just got a shot there of what they get. So Cassie Wilde there, Ellesmere College Titans. She takes bronze.
Visited her a couple of weeks ago. Ellesmere College, go to the back of beyond and then drive another 100 miles and you get to Ellesmere College.
Silver medalist Lucy Hope. And so backstroke 100, 200 double for Lizzie Simmons. Now there's another athlete you never see miserable. Scottish champion Lucy Hope, of course. Lizzie, English swimmer, hails originally from the Lincoln area. I'll be swimming for the last season at Edinburgh University. So, as I said earlier, lovely to have her in the programme. Lexi Waller from Heart of Midlothian, the junior champion. Another one who has got big things ahead of her this year.
Indeed, World Junior Championships, her and Cassie Wilde. Lexi they'll be teammates and rivals in that competition in America against the best junior athletes in the world.
So it'll be very interesting to see how they go on. We've seen some good success in the European juniors, but a lot of the very top juniors have not actually gone to the Europeans. They're focusing absolutely on the Worlds.
It's been an interesting year for those selections. It just shows the strength and depth in British swimming to have the top couple of dozen or so going to the World Juniors and another 2 or 3 dozen taking part in the European Junior Championships as we speak this evening. A couple of hours ahead of us in Netanya, Israel.
So we go now to the men's 200 backstroke, B final. And there we are, lane 5. That is Ian Lovey from Brock up in Fraserburgh. And there beside him is Stuart Crawford of Glasgow University. We're starting to see a bit of Glasgow University in these events. That's nice to see. The swimming being taken very seriously now at Glasgow University, of course in conjunction with the City of Glasgow team. So we'll see how Stuart gets on here. Previously Edinburgh based before he went to university. So again, that great shot as they prepare for an explosive push-off. And away they go. So running through the field, we have Maxwell Cattermole from St Thomas in 0. Callum Chittleborough of Warrender in 1. Lawrence Campbell, one of 3 City of Glasgow swimmers in lanes 2, 3 and 4. The others, the youngster Mark Ford, he's in 3, and Duncan McKinney is in 4. Ian Lovey, who we saw at the beginning, goes in 5 for Broch. Stuart Crawford in 6 for Glasgow University. Then we have Charlie Smith of East Lothian, Dan Wilson of Nova Centurion, and Finlay Saunders from Heart of Midlothian. Ian Lovey in lane 5, first of the turn, 30.72. Around about 4/10 up on Duncan McKinney. So it's the 2 in the yellow lanes who are making the running here. The others, much of a muchness, but well, the body length back on our 2 leaders as we approach halfway. And well, it's not clear at all who's going to get the touch here as they come through. Let's see who does. It's Ian Lovey still by 13 hundredths, 105.26 against 105.39. Good turn though from Duncan McKinney, and that just gave him the edge there coming out of that turn. He's now 1.5 meters up, and he'll be looking to capitalise on that now and start to pull away. 105.39 as I said, we was second at halfway. He was 7/10 faster than Lovey in the heats this morning, but Lovey's not out of this yet. As they go through the 150 turn, there's a gap of, what is it, around 6/10 between them. 139.73 for McKinney, 140.37 for Lovey. So we'll see whether he and Lovey can mount a challenge down this final length. He's still around about a metre back. It's tight for third place. Charlie Smith maybe has it in lane 7. In fact, he definitely does now, but he's not going to catch the leading two, and it looks like McKinney is going to bring this one in. He's holding that metre advantage over Lovey, and they are the 1-2, with Charlie Smith coming in a third place. So it's Duncan McKinney in 2 minutes 12.80. Lovey 2:13.11 and Charlie Smith 2:16.04. So 2:12.80 there compared with a 2:15.34. We're sort of tempted to say, well, why didn't he swim that this morning and then get into the A final?
Well, this is what happens. It's part of the learning experience for these younger swimmers, that they need to get the job done in the heats. We preach that all the time at all levels of swimming. If you want to be in the big final, then you've got to get the job done earlier in the heats, and it shows they're capable of doing it. If they can swim that time this evening, they'll have to adjust either their strategy, their warm-up or their awareness for morning swimming in the future.
So we move straight on to the A final now, and we have Ryan Robertson from City of Glasgow there in lane 0. Beside him, Keir Edgar from first. He was the junior champion in the 100 backstroke. We're looking to double up on that. Lane 2, Joe Watt from City of Glasgow. Beside him, off to the World Championships later on, Mark Sharanek, representing the University of Edinburgh. Jack Warren Ballard, the fastest qualifier, 2:07.37, goes for University of Stirling. And we have Craig McNally of City of Glasgow. Somehow he managed to get that 100 backstroke, so he's looking for the double here. Ryan Brown is beside him, his City of Glasgow teammate. Then in lane 7, Alistair Miley, his second swim of the night for Aberdeen Performance. Alistair Robertson goes for Edinburgh University in 8. And Jack Munsey, another youngster, just 14 years old, from Perth City, is in lane 9. So McNally 5th, tied for 5th in fact in the British Championships. National short course champion. He had a really good short course season this year. We'll see what he can do here. I would think, although he wasn't the fastest qualifying, he will be the favourite for this one.
Yeah, he very much should be that. Of course, World Championship finalist in 2013 and a top backstroker for several years now. I think Mark Sharanek will have something to say about this race. He may not be able to beat Craig McNally, but I certainly think he'll be looking for a strong backstroke as an indication of his progress for his medley.
So McNally out pretty hard there, 28.66. Leads pretty comfortably, over a second. Sharanek did turn second. And third place, I think, was Ryan Brown at the 50. But, well, at the moment, McNally, best part of a body length up, pretty close in lanes 4 and 3. Warren Ballard now and Mark Sharanek contesting a second and third. 59.53 is the time for McNally. So that was just under a 31 for his second 50. Still holding that body length lead. Warren Ballard still holding off Mark Sharanek in second place. So it certainly looks like these three, maybe in that order. I'm not sure that that's going to change now. 1:30.48. So in around about a 31, just under a 31 for the third 50. So this is certainly going to be McNally's race. Let's just see how he can go. He's famed for a really fast final 50 in his 200 backstroke. So let's see if he can really set the pace up here. Let's see what sort of time he's going to do. He's pulling well clear of the others now. Warren Ballard's still in second, but this is McNally's race, and this is an excellent time from him. Oh, just over the 2 minutes, 2:00.22. So strong stuff there from him. Second place was Warren Ballard, 2:04.32, and third place Mark Sharanek, 2:06.19. So Craig McNally there, 2:00.22. Thoughts on that one, Alan?
Yeah, Craig looks reasonably pleased with that. Something around 2 minutes is a good indicator. I'm sure he'll be able to drop significantly from that in a few weeks' time at Sheffield at the British Championships, and characteristically, as you said, very, very strong on that last 50, picking up his stroking rate, getting his hand on the wall just outside the 2 minute mark, but very strong and encouraging swim from Craig. I'm sure he and his coach Ian Wright will be pleased with that.
It's 1:58.51, the consideration time for Commonwealth Games. Do you think he can knock that second and a half off?
Yeah, well within Craig's grasp. I'm sure he'll be setting his sights not just on that time, but getting close to his personal best time and challenging for medals next year at Gold Coast.
Yeah, well, we wish him luck with that one as we start to focus now on women's 200 breaststroke, the B final at the blocks there. You can see in lanes 4 and 5, Rebecca Clines of Leeds in the yellow cap, and Lucy Ross from South Lanarkshire in lane 5. Lucy Ross, another very talented youngster, youth squad member, 15-year-old. So we'll see what she can do. Second fastest qualifier for this B final behind Rebecca Clines, just a couple of tenths behind her. The full field, Anya Reid of first in 0, Eleanor Hatton, Royal Wolverhampton School in 1, Charlotte Robinson, City of Leeds in 2, Ailsa MacDonald from Northampton in 3, Rebecca Clines, City of Leeds in 4, Lucy Ross of South Lanarkshire in 5, Katie McKenzie of City of Glasgow in 6, Zara Milton of Edinburgh University in 7, Chanel Snedden of first in 8, and Ella Potts from City of Leeds in lane 9. Not too much to separate them here as they come towards 50. Let's see who gets the touch. 35.85, it's Lucy Ross in lane 5.
Lucy, one of our promising young age group swimmers, member of the youth squad this year for the first time, and again showing great length of stroke here on this 200 breaststroke to begin with. The Leeds stable continues to produce breaststrokers and young female swimmers with great ability, and they'll be testing her and the other swimmers in this race.
There's a Scot here from Northampton going very nicely in lane 3, Ailsa MacDonald. She is really looking good here in this second 50. She's opened up quite a gap there. I don't know too much about Ailsa. Tell me about Ailsa, Alan.
She's really appearing on the scene very much this season. We tend to keep as close tabs as possible on our Anglo-Scots who come up and support our national championships, and if she continues this kind of form, then we'll be very, very pleased with that. Of course, Northampton famous for Caitlin McClatchy.
Another fantastic Anglo-Scot, of course. So can she hold on to this one? I think she might come under a bit of pressure in the second half here, because the two in the centre lanes, Rebecca Clines and Lucy Ross, are there or thereabouts, just behind Ailsa through 150, 157.48. So she still leads by about 6 tenths, I think. Lucy Ross just ahead of Rebecca Clines. Nothing really between those two. I think it will be between these three, and they're almost in a line now as we come down the final length. Can Ailsa hold on here, because they are really gunning for her now with 20 metres to go. I think they might just slip past her. So Rebecca Clines in the yellow cap, I think maybe just has the edge over Lucy Ross, but it's going to be between these two. 10 metres to go then. There's still going to be stroke for stroke as they come into the wall. Again, it's going to be about who manages the finish, and it goes to Rebecca Clines. 2:37.66, only by 400ths of a second from Lucy Ross. Both of them significantly faster than they were in the heats. Third place was Ailsa MacDonald. That was a gutsy swim from her. Just couldn't quite keep ahead of the others in the closing stages there. But lots of promise from two of our Scottish youngsters there.
Yeah, it's really tough when you're swimming breaststroke and people are coming past you. We saw Ewan Ingalls do what's incredibly difficult to do, which is to get back in touch and to win a race. And I'm sure these girls will have learned from that experience there. Maintain your length of stroke, don't get distracted by the people coming up alongside you.
So the swimmers coming on to the stage for the women's 200 breaststroke championship final. And they're going for Aberdeen performance, looking pretty chatty. Here's Emma Chittleborough. She goes in lane 0. Beside her, another of our top juniors, Katie Robertson from South Ayrshire. And we have Emily Jones going in lane 2 for Edinburgh University. You'll know this lady, Hannah Miley. She goes in lane 3 for University of Aberdeen performance. Beside her, you might not know so much about this lady unless you've been watching the last 2 days. Victoria Güneş from the Turkish Federation having a super meet. Georgia Coates of City of Leeds, young internationalist, goes in lane 5. Orla Adams from University of Aberdeen in 6. Cara Hanlon from University of Edinburgh in 7. Emily Wood from City of Oxford is in 8. And Royal Wolverhampton School swimmer Laura Hawkins completes the field in lane 9. So Güneş, 9th in the Olympics, so a very strong swimmer, was in the European Championships in London last year. She was a finalist there as well. So we'll see what she does. 200 breaststroke, probably her strongest event. You would think she would be favourite here, but we'll see whether any of the others can challenge her. Good start from Hannah Miley in lane 3. She's very fast.
She's been in great breaststroke form through the mid part of the season, internationally and some domestic events. She's swum around about the 2:27 mark several times, and may well be in a position to challenge that or even faster this evening.
So she has the advantage around 3/10 at the 50 turn, and you can see she's still half a metre or so up on Victoria Güneş, and then the yellow cap of Georgia Coates in 3rd spot, with Orla Adams and Cara Hanlon not far away either. So a little bit of a diagonal there in the pool from Hannah in lane 3 across to Cara Hanlon in lane 7. Still it's Hannah Miley leading them through halfway. The leader's gone down to a 10th now, 1:11.23 against 1:11.34. Now certainly Hannah is not lacking for endurance, and I don't think Victoria will be either, so this one could well go the distance here.
Interesting contrast in styles and stature here. Hannah doing probably 3 strokes to Victoria's 2, and it's very, very close between the pair of them here. Hannah, of course, a medley swimmer, swimming breaststroke. Victoria, breaststroke swimmer who's been doing some medley this week, so a great racing prospect in this final 50, but an excellent 3rd turn there from Victoria Güneş, really taking control of this race with 30 metres to go.
So we talked about how hard it is to play catch up in the last length of a breaststroke, and that's what Hannah Miley has got to do here if she's to take the gold medal. She is still just about within touch with 20 metres to go, but Güneş, having won the 200 IM and the 400 IM, is going to add the 200 breaststroke to that list of achievements. So it is going to be Güneş taking this one, looking very good there, 2:26.24. So considerably faster, 4 and a bit seconds faster than she was this morning. 2nd place, a 2:27.50 for Hannah Miley. I would think she'll be pretty happy with that. She pretty much matches the time she did at Mare Nostrum. And 3rd place was Georgia Coates in 2:30.72.
Good swimming there, and just while we have a slight lull, news of a medal for Scott McLeay at the European Junior Championships in Israel this evening as part of the Great Britain mixed 4x100 metres medley relay team. His anchor leg split of 49.39 is an excellent performance, and certainly one that the selectors will be taking note of when it comes to Commonwealth Games selection later in the year.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, 49.3. Wow.
Very good indeed, very good. And that experience for these junior swimmers at Wingate Institute in Netanya, Israel, certainly proving to be extremely worthwhile as they progress through this season.
So as we watch Hannah leave the pool, we'll be moving to presentations next. There's the South Lanarkshire contingent. Looking all a bit serious there. Thinking about what they've got to do. what they have done. And a phone in hand with one of them as well. You can't not have a phone in your hand.
I think the sun was shining to see all these swimmers taps off, as they say.
So here is our first presentation. This is the men's 200 backstroke. Mark Sharanek getting the bronze medal, representing Edinburgh University. Silver medalist Jack Warren Ballard, University of Stirling. And Craig McNally in that 2:00:22 time takes the gold. So really a moment of three dominant programs, I suppose, with Aberdeen up there as well. Not on this particular occasion, but there's our junior champion. So that was Keir Edgar, so he did the double, 100 and the 200. So you'll be happy with that. Keir Edgar of first. It's photo time. Craig McNally, of course, with his roots at Warrener, so we chat with Mark Sharanek, you'll know well. He was brought up in the Carnegie program before moving to America and now swimming with Edinburgh University, because his father now a coach at Edinburgh University. Now up come the women's 200 breaststroke. Georgia Coates, bronze medalist, 2:30.72.
Great to see the City of Leeds and several other English programmes up here in Aberdeen, led of course by Richard Denigan and his team, and it's fantastic to see them making the long journey north.
Anna Miley, of course, knows this pool well. A new training base. Must be quite a contrast going from the Inverurie pool to this beautiful pool here in Aberdeen Sports Village.
Fantastic, a brilliant setting. Nothing but immense praise from all of our visiting coaches, parents and swimmers about the ASV facility here, and it really is a pleasure to be able to come here and witness some fast swimming.
So Victoria Guinness, the gold medalist again, and there is, not for the first time and probably not for the last time, junior champion Katie Robertson of South Ayrshire.
Or indeed her teammate Caitlin Duffy.
True. This is true.
Looking rather pleased with herself. As a backstroker, I think she probably would be if she won a medal in breaststroke. Nice picture.
Yeah, let's say the Turkish flag there on Victoria's top. As I said, 9th for Turkey in the Olympics, so pretty unlucky just to miss out on the final there. And we are back to swimming, and we're going to be up to the other end of the pool now for 50 freestyle. We start with multi-classification, and they're coming up there. You can see in 0 Reskill swimming S9 for Eithan, not far away from here. Christian Buchanan goes for East Lothian in lane 1, it's S14. John Laurie's third swim of the night goes for Helensburgh in 2. Chap Milne also been very busy tonight, his third swim. Dundee City Aquatic swimmer, S14. Stephen Clegg is next to him, newly arrived at University of Stirling, swimming S12, was of course Paralympian in Rio. Ollie Carter broke the Scottish record in S10 in the heats, 27.43, the new standard, swimming for Carnegie. Another S10 swimmer from Loughborough University, James Hollis, is beside him. 27.48 was his time, so just 500ths away from Carter. And another S10, Adam Wyborn from Billingham, goes in lane 7. Carl Hughes is in lane 8 from Motherwell and Wishaw. He swims S9. And then our very experienced Paralympian Andrew Mullen, S5, goes in lane 9 for City of Glasgow. Of course, Andrew Mullen was right up there in the Paralympic Games in this one as well. Although fly probably his stronger event. So we'll see what he can do as well. Stephen Clegg, you would think, would be the favourite for this one, though.
He had a good time in the 100 freestyle the other day, just outside his best time.
So off they go. And it is lane 4, Stephen Clegg, straight away into the lead. And this is a pretty emphatic lead as well. As with all our other multi-classification events, it won't be decided just on the time. And see there, a fly being swum there in lane 6. Nothing to stop you doing that. That's James Hollis doing that in lane 6, but it's Clegg, 24.95. So nice swim there. And that, in fact, a new Scottish record that breaks his record 25.05, which I think was held by his brother. So he'll be happy with that, taking a 10th off that. New Paralympic record there. And Oliver Carter, 27.34. So that also is a new Paralympic record. He knocked another 9/10 off that record that he set. Here you see them coming in. So 2 records for the price of 1 there. And that was dominant by Stephen Clegg there.
Yeah, it's an excellent swim. He's made the adjustment, made the move really smoothly to the University of Stirling, and certainly off that 50 and this 100 freestyle the other evening, it's proving to be very successful early on.
Yep, so brilliant stuff there. So that's the 50 freestyle multi-classification swimmers. Now the B final. We're looking there at Ross Leslie for University of Edinburgh. He's the fastest qualified for the B final. But it's going to be very, very tight, I think. 24.44 his time in the heats, and there were swimmers just hundredths away from him, all around him. So don't expect there to be much between them here. So splash and dash, as they say. We've had the splash, now it's the time for the dash. Good start in lane 5, Conor Munn of Loughborough. He looks to maybe just have the edge here. Can he hold on to it though? Going in lane 6 is Stuart McIntosh. He's right up there, Aberdeen Dolphin swimmer. But I think it's Munn just about holding on. A late charge though from Ross Leslie. Who gets the touch? It is Conor Munn, 24.21. Takes it from a 10th from Ross Leslie, 24.31. And Chris Muir from lane 3 takes third in 24.39.
Small but significant improvements there from the boys in that 50 metres freestyle. Slightly faster than they were this morning.
And a couple of tenths would be the sort of progression you'd hope for in a 50.
Yeah, I think most of them would go pretty hard at it this morning to try and get that second swim. So if we can see that kind of improvement from these men in the championship final, then we could be looking at some very good times.
So let's just introduce these swimmers then. Going in 0 is Alistair Kirkwood for South Lanarkshire. In lane 1, City of Glasgow swimmer Grant Henderson. Lane 2, Martin Walton. Saw him in the 200 IM earlier. This is something different. Lane 3, Callum Bain is University of Stirling teammate, very much a sprint specialist, as is the man next to him, and University's David Cumberledge, and also Jack Thorpe, who goes in lane 5, both of them from Edinburgh University. Then we have Duncan Scott, the British record holder in 100 breaststroke. What can he do in the 50? Jack Sharanek, well, we just saw his brother Mark on the podium. This time it's Jack's turn. He goes in lane 7 for Edinburgh University. Alistair Wright of Loughborough is in lane 8. He's a Scot based in Loughborough, and his Loughborough teammate, the Irishman Brian O'Sullivan, goes in lane 9. What we're going to see here, fastest time this morning, 22.43. That was David Cumberledge. That was exactly the time that he was entered on, which he did at the Edinburgh International back in March. So he'll be looking to go a bit faster than that, I would think, tonight. That would be a season's best if he does. Bronze medalist last year in the European University Games. Jack Thorpe has been in blazing form, bronze medalist in the British Championships. So we'll see what he can do in lane 5. So these two Edinburgh swimmers, but Callum Bain could challenge them as well. So there's lots and lots of water splashing around there as we see them, but it does look like it's lane 4 Cumberledge who's got the advantage. He's looking very strong here. Duncan Scott is looking good in lane 6, but this is Cumberledge's race by quite a margin. 22-24. He'll be happy with that. We talked about 2/10 improvements. Well, he's delivered that from heats to final. Duncan Scott there, 22.62. So he improves by 3/10 on his heat time, and Jack Thorpe takes the 3rd spot by 200ths from Callum Bain. 22.75 for him.
Good swim from Duncan Scott there in 2nd place. Personal best time. He, of course, is more renowned for longer distances than this, so he'll be really pleased with that sprint performance.
Yep, so yes, there's not a lot that Duncan Scott can't do pretty well, to be honest. You see him in a range of maybe his non-main events this weekend, and he's been pretty impressive in all of them.
He's versatile, he always has been. Of course, multiple medal winner at the European Games when they were held for the first time in Baku a couple of years ago, and since then, of course, has gone on to bigger and better things as a senior athlete, including his 2 Olympic silver medals last year in Great Britain's successful relay teams.
So you saw there on the scoreboard the lineup for the B final of the women's 50 butterfly, and there they all are, just about ready to go. Quickly run through them for you. Amy Godsave in 0, Ellie Millington in 1, Katie Robertson in 2, that's why she wasn't on the podium just now, Karen Reid in 3, Anya Slesser in 4, Jessica Christie in 5, Amelia Kleins in 6, Evie Edwards in 7, Megan Grant in 8, and Alex Diamond in 9.
Contrasting ages here, Anya Slesser, 13 years of age, fastest qualifier, and Alexandra Diamond, exactly double that age in one of the outside lanes.
Yeah, but it's not going to be much in it in terms of speed down the pool here. They are all pretty much in a line here. Lane 8, maybe Megan Grant has just got the edge, but well, I don't know whether she's going to be able to hold it because they're all coming at her now as we come into the close stages. This could go any way at all, and in fact, it's a dead heat. Karen Reid and Anya Slesser, where we talked about Anya, the youngster there. She's tied for the lead there in 28.76. And just 600ths behind her, Megan Grant, who had that really strong start. So, well, first tie of the night. Slesser there. 13-year-old, as you said, did 29.05. Improved that to 28.65, 28.88. 28.76, I should say, is times that she did. She came in on 28.88, so 10th knocked off that.
Personal best time, always good to know.
So we move to the A finalist now, and there is Gulsum Ernal, newly moved to the City of Glasgow programme. She goes in 0. Beside her, Kiana McInnes of Harder Midlothian, very much a fly specialist, probably better and longer distances than 50. Anna Newlands is in lane 2 for University of Edinburgh. Beside her, University of Edinburgh teammate Raquel Matos. University of Stirling's Laura Mills is in lane 4. Fiona Donnelly of Warrender in 5, part of the Scotland Commonwealth Games team in 2014. Tame Bruce, who set that Scottish record in the 100 fly earlier in the week. She goes in 6 for Edinburgh University. Emily Horn of City of Glasgow in 7. Yasmin Perry, University of Aberdeen in 8, and Catherine Russell of City of Leeds is in lane 9. So this one is pretty open, I would think. 27.42, the fastest time. That was Laura Mills from University of Stirling, but there'll be a number of swimmers challenging her, I think. Let's see how it goes. See what sort of pace Tame Bruce can bring into this one in lane 6 after that blazing 100 fly. Well, very, very close here. You really can't call this one at all. Lane 6, Tame Bruce maybe just does have the edge, but lane 4 now is Lauren Mills, and she is coming at it, and I think maybe Lauren is just going to get this one. It's between her and Tame Bruce. Oh, Tame takes it. She manages to hold on there, 27.36 against Mills, 27.41, with Raquel Matos coming in for third, 27.54.
Again, I think just a personal best time by a few 100ths of a second by Tame Bruce, maintaining her excellent form as of the other evening with that new Scottish record.
Yep, it's confirmation there on the board for you. as we see Tane go, so we'll see her on the podium shortly. But really competitive race, that one. Just hundredths between her and Lauren Mills, and Raquel Matos not far behind as well, picks up the bronze medal. So 2 from the Edinburgh University. Edinburgh University leading the points race at the halfway point, so good points for them there. And well, showing particularly, I suppose, in women's swimming, very, very strong performance, but we're seeing some good performances, particularly maybe from the freestyle men at the moment, and not forgetting Ewan Ingles, of course, in the breaststroke.
Yeah, the balance to the programme. Chris Jones, head coach, and his coaching staff are doing an excellent job this season, showing up well in all of the national championship events and very well represented in British and Scottish international teams.
So we still there have the men's 800 freestyle to come, followed by our relays. We'll be back to the podium, I think, before we see the men's distance swimmers make their way out. Just waiting for the athletes to get themselves sorted for that. First of our presentations will be the men's 50 freestyle. Looks like they're just about ready to go. There they are. The acknowledgement of the camera there. As we see, I'm not quite sure what's going on, why we're not getting on with this, but well, just a little bit. Just a reminder there, hashtag SNOC17 is the handle if you want to tweet. What do you think about things so far? Who has impressed you the most?
What's most impressive this 3 days now, as we're almost nearing the end of day 3, is the quality of the racing. The process goals that the coaches and athletes will have set are very much being achieved. Talking to them around about the warm-up, swim down, pool, and between the sessions. This is part of the bigger picture. We had some excellent swimming. Lizzie Simmons in particular, with her 200 backstroke, was a world-class performance, and of course she won this evening just a few short minutes ago. So great to see some Scottish records being sprinkled around, senior and junior, and yeah, it's a great indication of the strength of Scottish swimming, the depth of Scottish swimming, that our national championships can attract teams from all over, and great performances.
Yep, certainly would echo that, and just the number of just straight really competitive races that we've seen as well. It's just been first class. We look at some of our City of Glasgow team there. You can just see their head coach Ian right there, just on the corner. Talked about Lewis Smith earlier on. So are we ready to go with these presentations? Hopefully we are. Not quite sure what the delay is. Can hear the presentation music starting to play, which would suggest maybe that we are just about ready to go now. Just get a sense of the Aberdeen Sports Village pool from that shot. You can see there the wide open spaces, 10-lane pool of course, and you see all the athletes over on the far side of the pool, and you're looking from the gallery area, and you saw the shots off the gallery earlier. It's beginning to thin out a little bit now as we get towards the end of the programme, but we've had a good crowd in tonight.
This will of course be the venue for the European Junior Championships that we've been referring to, currently taking place in Israel, but in 3 years' time, 2020, the best young swimmers in Europe will be coming to the city of Aberdeen and to the Aberdeen Sports Village for that prestigious event.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. Of course, we've also got a big event coming up in Glasgow next year on that same front, and European Games.
Indeed, as part of the European Games, several events taking place in and around Glasgow and nearby. Fantastic opportunity for people to see world-class performances across a range of sports, and I believe tickets are on sale should anybody wish to get ahead of the game and purchase them early.
Yes, and that will be in Tollcross in Glasgow next year, and certainly will be a great adventure there for some of the swimmers who make their way onto that team. Just panning round, we saw a number of the University of Aberdeen team as we pan round back to the Glaswegians. Seeing a lot of them at the moment. They're into the Warrender contingent. There's Hearts head coach Phil Potter as we go through. What proportion do you think are looking at phones here? Quite high. South Lanarkshire there.
Sign of the times, Duncan. Sign
Certainly
of the times.
is. There's that butterfly.
Blanket finish, Tane Bruce just judging it perfectly in terms of finishing on the stroke. Of course, races can be won and lost by hundredths of a second. Indeed, that one was. And credit to Tane Bruce for head down. Perfect stroke into the wall. Good time. Personal best, 27.36 seconds.
Of course, we've been well supported by the pool staff here at Aberdeen Sports Village to keep us safe, and they feed us, and they keep this venue just looking in absolutely pristine condition. So big thanks to them. Another shot of the butterfly there coming in. So I think we're ready to go with these presentations now. So once again, just apologies for that delay, but we'll hopefully get the show back on the road now. I don't think we gave you who the medalists were, but I can tell you that the bronze medalist based on multi-classification points was Andrew Mullen, the Paralympian from City of Glasgow. That's a teammate of his picking up the medal there. The silver medalist, Jack Milne, Dundee City Aquatics. So that's second time. Well, we've seen him third time on the podium, but he wasn't there himself on one of them. So second time we've actually seen him. And there is Stephen Clegg with that new record there in the S12 category. The certain satisfaction in taking his brother's record, I would think.
That's the swimmer in the Clegg household this evening. I'm sure there'll be some texting action going on between the pair of them.
I would imagine there will. Yep. So what a family, sporting family the Cleggs are, aren't they? Because Olivia, of course, absolutely first-class athlete, then Paralympian James and Paralympian Stephen. So 3 out of 3 Paralympians there.
Very, very proud family, I'm sure.
And the 50 freestyle, Jack Thorpe there picking up the bronze medal in the able-bodied championship final. Duncan Scott, the silver medalist, and David Cumberledge, that very fast time, 22:24 for him, and the Scottish champion, Duncan Scott.
Not an easy job for Kerry Christie making those presentations with the height of some of these boys.
Yep. And Tommaso De Nova picks up the junior medal. He swam earlier in the heats and was the fastest junior Stirling based swimmer. So congratulations to him. In this case, not Stirling University, but the Stirling swim team. So there they are. 2 in red from the University of Edinburgh, 2 in white. Both Stirling based, one from the university, one from the town. So well done to all of them. 50 fly swimmers up next. There's no multi-classification final in this one, so we go straight to the championship final medalists. And you're looking at Raquel Matos from Edinburgh University, who gets the bronze medal. Silver medalist, and that is Laura Mills from the University of Stirling, and Tane Bruce takes the gold for the University of Edinburgh. Junior champion, I think that's a clean sweep of butterfly for her. Lex Kiana McInnes there from Heart of Midlothian. Another one bound for the World Juniors. Having a super season. Broken some butterfly Scottish junior records this year. As I said, probably 50, the weakest of the 50 of the butterfly events for her. I think the longer the better probably for her. She'd be delighted if there was a 400 butterfly.
Just took the words right out of my mouth, Duncan. She certainly would be. Well, I'm not sure about delighted would be the phrase. She should be doing 400 butterfly because of her physiological and technical rather capacity, but I'm sure she's delighted to be able to swim fast at all of the distances.
Yes, indeed. So we go to the 800 freestyle now. This is the fastest heat we had. First heat this morning. We got the second heat this evening. We have Thomas Jackson, City of Leeds, going in 0. Ian Rennie of Dundee City Aquatics is in 1. Daniel Ferguson in lane 2 for West Lothian. Jonathan Christie for South Lanarkshire in 3, with his teammate, the champion in the 1500, going in 4, Richard Laird. John Wright of Aberdeen Performance is in 5. 6 is Jacob Butterfield from City of Leeds. 7, Cameron Kavanagh of South Lanarkshire, so strong South Lanarkshire entry in this one. Finlay Saunders goes for Hearts in 8, and Fraser Agnew, University of Aberdeen Performance, in 9. So the question is, can Richard Laird pick up this one up to his 1500? 8:28 is entry time, so that's about 9 seconds faster than anybody else. So on paper, you'd say you can, but you don't do the race on paper.
Exactly, and it was a fantastic, probably one of the best races of the week in the men's 1500 freestyle, with Fraser Allison not in this race, of course, but plenty of competition for Richard Laird, including his former teammate John Wright, now here in Aberdeen at the university programme, but originally from East Kilbride.
And of course the 800, there's news about that, isn't there, fairly recently, about what's happening with the men's 800 and the women's 1500.
Now Olympic events, they'll be awarded the same colour of medal as everybody else, and a very welcome addition they were, along with the mixed relays. Some disappointment from the form stroke swimmers, including Anna Peaty, that some people will have noticed in social media, that the 50 fly, back and breast events were not included as part of that IOC package.
Great start over in lane 9, Fraser Agnew. He's really taking it out half fast here. You just wonder whether he's going to be able to sustain this. Pretty much bang on the minute there for the 100, 1:00:02. You do wonder when somebody goes out this fast from an outside lane whether this is sustainable. There he is, going nicely there in lane 9, and well, the others early on are having to play catch up.
Nice balanced stroke out there in the outside lane. If he hasn't gone off too fast, he certainly has the capacity from a technical point of view to maintain, perhaps even build on this lead.
So 8:56 is Fraser's entry time. He did that in this pool at national age groups back in April. He was 4th in that event, so well, if he could turn that into a win in the national champions, well, that would be just sensational. But well, we'll see. It's early days yet. We're coming up towards 200 meters, so that's 1/4 distance. In the center lanes, it's Laird in the blue cap, Wright in the white cap, and they are pretty much stroke for stroke as you see them going through the turn. But 2:05:36 is the split for Fraser Agnew over there in lane 9. It's still just about 2 seconds clear. Of course, the other possibility is that he's going for an intermediate split. Do you think that might be what he's doing?
Doesn't look like it. He's just about to pass his teammates there, who I'm sure will give him plenty of encouragement, and it may well be that as a young developing swimmer that he's ready to make a breakthrough, and this could be his signature swim.
2:38:29, still holding that 2 second advantage. Laird 2:40:40, and John Wright right there as well, 2:40:41, but they're both 2 seconds back still on Fraser Agnew. Richard Laird second in the national age group. In fact, John Wright was also second. They were in different age groups, but there you focus there on Fraser Agnew. So our cameraman been tested by getting a nice angle shot there on the outside lane. He hasn't had to do that too often. 3:11.63, so he's pacing around about just over 66s. When it was a 65, then a 66, so that pace did just drop a little bit in the third 100, so we'll see whether he does come under pressure. The gap just a little bit under 2 seconds now, but well, they've not made much of an impact yet, but maybe that will start to happen. We're still not at halfway. This is the 350 metre turn. So Agnew continuing to push it hard, 3:44.57. He's got the lead back to 2 seconds, 3:46.59 right now, just ahead of Laird in the centre lane. As you can see there in the white cap and the blue cap, not far behind them in fourth place, the Leeds man Jacob Butterfield. See him there in the yellow, and then the two beyond him, Cameron Kavanagh and Finlay Saunders, but still over there in lane 9, Fraser Agnew. Now this will tell us whether he is going for the intermediate split or not, because if he is, he'll slow down considerably now, but well, if he's not, and it doesn't look like he's slowing down, 4:18.32, so around a 66.5 that time, and he is keeping it going. So well, this is a brave effort here, and he's certainly taking it to them.
Breathing pattern just becoming a bit laboured, not the same rhythm to it as there had been in the previous couple of 100. Quite a lot of glances at the scoreboard to see just exactly what time he went through on there, because he probably can't quite believe himself how far he is ahead.
See the Leeds contingent there, so they're out in force to support Jacob Butterfield in lane 6. He's still currently in fourth place, 4:54.10 for him at the turn, so he's around 2.5 seconds off the pace set by Fraser Agnew. That lead now cut to a second, so just about half down that last length. So as you said, if he's maybe just struggling to hold his technique here, this might get a bit difficult in these next 300 meters, and he has now been caught. He's still just got the lead, but it's down to a tenth of a second now, 5:25.79, and well, he lost about a second on his pace on that last 100 compared with the previous one. So well, we'll see whether he can find a second wind here. He certainly can't criticize his approach to this one. He's giving it a go, and he's still up there with them, but I think maybe just being overhauled now by the two in the centre lanes, and they do just go ahead of him through the 550. Wright leads the way by 900s, 5:58.63, 5:58.72 for Richard Laird, and then Fraser Agnew 5:59.10, so still within a few tenths at that point, but I think it might be pretty tough for him now. The question, I think, might be whether he can hold on to a podium. Certainly making a move now in lane 5 is John Wright. He's got the best part of a body length over Richard Laird. This is three-quarter distance, 6:30.52. So the pace certainly being picked up now by these two in the centre lanes, and particularly by John Wright. There is South Lanarkshire contingent. They'll be cheering on. Well, three swimmers in the pool here, the leading one of which is Richard Laird there in your shot in the blue cap in second place. It's getting tight now for third place. Fraser Agnew is being gradually caught by Jacob Butterfield, who'll be looking to try and get himself on the podium. So that's still got some mileage in it, would think, that third place contest. But at the front, it's looking pretty good for John Wright here. Did his 8:37 time in the Commonwealth pool at the Edinburgh International back in March. So we'd be hoping to improve on that here. We'll get a feel of what his pacing is here as he comes towards the bell. He's certainly looking as though he's got this now firmly in his grasp. There go the bells as they go through the 100, 7:34.06, and that was a 63.5 there, and you'd expect him to pick up the pace now in this final 100. So 8:37 was his entry time. I think he's got every chance of getting inside that. Laird is, well, 2.5 seconds behind him. I don't think he's going to be able to catch him now, because Wright looks to have a good pace here in the closing stages, coming up to the final turn, and he is around 5-6 metres clear as he goes through that in 8:06. Still, that race is on for third. Fraser Agnew is not giving it up, although I think Butterfield just had the edge on him as they approach the wall. But we focus here on John Wright as he comes down the final length here. Surely this now is in the bag for him. Can he improve on his 8:37 entry time? I think he probably can. You can see there the clock coming up to 8:30 as he approaches the final 5 metres. It's going to be pretty close to his entry time, but he's going to be inside it. 8:36.17, takes 9/10 off. Richard Laird gets a silver to add to his gold in the 1500, and it was Jacob Butterfield just getting through. But what a brave effort from Fraser Agnew there. Really took it to it, and he'll be very happy, I would think, with an 11-second improvement on his entry time. That was good reward for a very gutsy swim from the outside lane.
Yeah, courageous swimming on the outside. His teammate John Wright, one of the stalwarts of the University of Aberdeen performance programme, always does the right things, always works hard in training, always prepared to commit himself to every session, and that's a great reward for all of that effort, with the national title for him and a personal best time.
Yep, and they're just confirming third place Jacob Butterfield at 8:44.50, so he comes in a second or so inside his entry time as well, so he'll be pleased, I think, with that. The City of Leeds 17-year-old. So we'll see those three on the podium later on. Led by that man, John Wright. Congratulations all round there. So it's relay time now. We have 2 heats for the women, just the 3 teams in this first heat: Dumfries, West Lothian and Aberdeen Dolphins. So leading off are Niamh Green for Dumfries, Emma Govan for West Lothian and Jessica Carnes for Aberdeen Dolphins. So this is about setting a time for the second and faster heat. West Lothian leading their way. Emma Govan. They're a junior team. There are a number of junior teams in the next heat as well, 3 of them. So again, West Lothian will be looking to set a standard to give them something to think about. And certainly getting a good start from Emma Govan. Went through the first 15, 29.21, and she has certainly opened up a healthy gap here as we come down to the first changeover. So a very good start from Emma. Just going to be over the minute for her split, 1:00.23. So I think she'll be pretty pleased with that. She hands over to the second swimmer, Nicola Lees. You see focusing there on Nicola. She comes down.
Good opportunity, of course, for the lead-off swimmers to register a legitimate 100 freestyle time, and we see that quite often at all levels of swimming, an opportunity to perhaps improve on your best time by leading off the relay.
So Nicola Lees, as I said, leading the way still for West Lothian. Eva Simpson's in for Dumfries and Rona Bowie for Aberdeen Dolphins. They're pretty close as we come down towards halfway. So we'll see there. The West Lothian swimmer, that gives you an idea of the extent of her lead. It's pretty substantial, around about 8 metres. As we come down to the second changeover, ready to take over is the youngster of the team, Emma Parker, 2:03.50, so a 63.3 for Nicola Lees as Emma Parker sets off. Promising youngster. As I said, just 13 years old. The other 2 in the pool, Dumfries, they're in lane 3, Sophie Dodd going for them, and the veteran, well, we talked about her earlier in the 50 fly, Alex Diamond going for Aberdeen Dolphins. So West Lothian still with a substantial lead, although maybe being cut a little bit by Dumfries in this third leg. So Sophie Dodd trying her best to close the gap, but well, it's a big ask. West Lothian really still in control as they get ready to hand over to the anchor swimmers. It'll be Karen Heath there going for West Lothian, Gemma McLeod for Dumfries, and Nicole Ogg just about to go in for Aberdeen Dolphins. They're a long way back now, so West Lothians, the only one anywhere close to them is Dumfries. And well, that gap was, as I said, 7 or 8 meters. It's certainly not that now. And in fact, it's beginning to shrink quite considerably here. So Gemma McLeod could just come back from a long way back here and get this for Dumfries. They've got the gap down to about 2 or 3 meters. Can she keep it going in the second half here, Gemma McLeod? Or will Karen Heath find something to keep her at bay? Because, well, we didn't think this was going to be close as we went into the final swimmers, but, well, there's still maybe 2-3 meters in it, so I think West Lothian are not going to be shaken off the win here. So Karen Heath didn't panic there when Gemma started to come at her, and she comes in to take it 4:09.32. So that will be the target time and the target junior time for the second heat. There we see Karen, and there is confirmation of the result: 4:09.32, 4:11.21. Top 2 times there. And you can see Karen Heath, and you can see there just beside her as a free swimmer, so it certainly wouldn't have got her in shot had you been looking at the second or the third swimmers coming in, but at the time they got to the end it was much closer.
So that's the target set for this next heat. That was a junior team as we welcome these swimmers to the podium. So we're looking at City of Glasgow and Warrender. Plus Heart of Midlothian as the other
And
junior
you
teams.
see there who is leading off for Glasgow.
Yeah, indeed, just the point I made in that last heat. Camilla Hattersley getting a chance to register a 100 freestyle time, as is Kirsty Simpson for University of Aberdeen Performance.
So just run through the field. We've got City of Glasgow junior team going in at 0, Dundee City Aquatics in 1, University of Aberdeen in 2, Warrender in 3, City of Glasgow in 4, as we said, led off by Camilla Hattersley. University of Aberdeen's A team in 5 with Kirsty Simpson. Hearts junior team led off by Ellie Riley in 6. Then we've got South Lanarkshire with Nikki Miller and Katie Goodburn for the Warrender juniors up at the top of the pool. So no surprise that it is Camilla Hattersley leading the way here, giving City of Glasgow a good hand off. They have got some pretty talented freestylers here, because here's another one, Gulf Simonal, going on the second leg, 56.41, the time for Camilla's 100. Second is South Lanarkshire in lane 7, Lucy Ross, who we saw in the breaststroke earlier on, taking the second leg for them, up there in the yellow costume, blue cap in lane 7. Moving up beside them now in lane 5 is University of Aberdeen, with Megan Grant on the second leg for them. So that's pretty close there, but well, are they going to be able to bring back this big City of Glasgow lead? Certainly probably their strongest 200 freestylers up front for the City of Glasgow team, so we'll see whether there are some speedsters coming up from the other teams who could maybe bring this one back. That's the City of Glasgow third swimmer, Emily Horn, no slouch herself, 152.84, so another 56.4 from Gulsum there on the second leg, so very consistent between those first 2 swimmers. Great stuff from the Glaswegians at the moment. Still, it's University of Aberdeen, and we've got Hannah Miley on the third leg for them. Hearts with Kiana McInnes and Taylor Bartlett for South Lanarkshire are doing battle. They are both junior teams. Oh no, they're not, in fact. South Lanarkshire's not a junior team there. They've got a 17-year-old team in their team, so looking good for Hearts, maybe to take the junior medal at the moment. But we focus there on Emily Horn and the City of Glasgow, because this lead is still massive, and surely there's going to be nothing that even a star like Hannah Miley can do to work this one. So through to the final swimmers, 2:49.90. So that was around a 57 for the third leg from Emily Horn. On the anchor is Ailey Smith. So she's got the task of bringing this home, protecting this lead from anybody that might give it a go. It's going to be Alice Alcaraz for the University of Aberdeen. Lexi Waller on the anchor for Heart of Midlothian. They are now in third spot, looking to be the leading junior team. But, well, City of Glasgow have got this one in the bag. And just keep an eye on the time here, because this is very fast. The Scottish club record, 3:47.33. Can they get inside that? Maybe just going to miss it. Is it? It's going to be very close, but no, just outside it. But a great swim. 3:48.97 from City of Glasgow. Coming in for second, University of Aberdeen, 3:55.78. And coming in behind them, 3:59.11. The Heart of Midlothian team pick up a Scottish junior club record there. They took the record in national age groups, and they've taken half a second off it here in the national championships.
Good swimming across the pool there. Glasgow showing their strength and depth in female sprinting. Comfortable win and excellent improvement in the same pool from the Heart of Midlothian junior team from just a few months ago. That's now being announced to the audience here in the natatorium, as they would say in America. Ripples of applause for that Scottish junior club record. Well done to those ladies.
Yep, so good stuff there, but that was very impressive from the City Glasgow team. There was well, very, very strong across the field there. Maybe just if they'd had about slightly stronger anchor at the end there, but it was good. So it was a sub-minute from Ailey Smith, so certainly can't complain about that, but well, really, really good stuff there. It's the men now who will finish us off. Again, we've got two heats here for the men's 4x100 freestyle relay. We've got 9 teams going in the first heat. Aberdeen Dolphins B team, Dumfries, Glasgow University, Warrender Juniors, West Lothian, Royal Wolverhampton School, West Lothian Juniors, South Lanarkshire and Dundee City Aquatics. The line up here. Entry time 3:40 to 3:52, because the entry times submitted well before, so it's not necessarily the swimmers who are swimming this who made up their times for the entry, so you can't really always tell. But it's a good start in lane 3 from the Warrender Juniors, leading off for them. Who is leading off for them? The answer is Archie Goodburn. Getting myself confused here. He's certainly off to a good start, although now coming up alongside them, James Lauder for Glasgow University. So they are 1 and 2, 53.80 and 54.02. The first changeover, taking it on now for Warrender Juniors, it's Callum Chittleborough, but he's been overtaken now by the Glasgow University's Martin Cartow on the second leg, and there you can see up in lane 7, that's South Lanarkshire with Jonathan Christie on the second leg, junior champion in the 1500 last night. And then 3-4 teams pretty close behind them, but it is Martin Cartel for Glasgow University here. He's opened up about a 3-metre advantage, so he is keeping it going from James Lauder, who did the opening leg for the university team. And waiting on the blocks for them is Stuart Crawford, 1:48.97. Advantage of a second and a half from Warrender. Jamie McDonald on the third leg for them, and right now with them in lane 5 is the Royal Wolverhampton School with Casey Barrett on the third leg. They've just gone past South Lanarkshire, who have Dylan Somerville in the water. So it's all very tight now for second place, but still Glasgow University have the lead, although that lead is maybe starting to evaporate as Royal Wolverhampton School come chasing, and also some Warrender juniors still up there. So a good leg from Jamie McDonald, but also and particularly maybe from Casey Barrett for the Royal Wolverhampton team. And I think it is Casey who's now moved them just into the lead at the 300 and the final changeover. Going in for them now is Matthew Richards. 2:45.38 is the split there, and Matthew pretty strong member of their team, and I don't think he'll let this one go now. We'll see. Glasgow University, Chris Muir going for them, and then three teams behind them. Warrender with Sonny Kennedy. Beside them, West Lothian with Jamie Coulter. He could finish pretty fast. South Lanarkshire with Keir Buchanan. But still it's Royal Wolverhampton School, and surely this race is theirs. They came in with an entry time of 3:41.01. So coming up to 3:35 now. So they will be sub 3:40 here, and coming in 3:38.67. So that is the time that the final heat have to beat. Second place was West Lothian, Jamie Coulter bringing them home to a second place finish, 3:40.77, with Glasgow University, who led for some of that race, finishing third in 3:40.97. There's the full result for you.
Great to see the way the league changes in team events. Strong lead-off performances, and of course teams will tactically place swimmers in different positions, trying to optimise the overall team performance. It was a good lead-off from Archie Goodburn for Warrender Juniors, 53.8 seconds, but overall strong winning performance by Royal Wolverhampton School, coached by an Anglo-Scot, Mark Spatman.
So our last race of the evening is just about ready to go. We've got a full pool lineup here. The City of Glasgow B team going in 0. Edinburgh University, they've got 3 teams out here. The C team is in 1. University of Aberdeen Performance are in lane 2. That's their A team. Then we've got 2 University Edinburgh teams. B team in 3, the A team in 4. City Glasgow in 5, Aberdeen Dolphins A team in 6, Warrender senior team in 7, South Lanarkshire senior team in 8, and the University of Aberdeen Performance in lane 9. So away we go then. This final race of the day, and it's Edinburgh University led off by David Cumberledge. Well, we saw him in the 50 freestyle earlier, and we know what explosive speed he's got, and well, he is well clear here. So good strong start from them. They might just be eyeing the Scottish club record here. That's held by Stirling. So I think the Edinburgh team would love to get that off them. 49.81, so a good strong start, sub 50 seconds from David Cumberledge. Mark Sharanek on the second leg, and you can see here that Edinburgh University have an enormous lead here.
Soon David Cumberledge would have been fast enough to win the individual 100 freestyle had he from that fast in the race the other evening.
So Sharanek 1:13.58 at his halfway point. So it's all about pacing here as we come down. Lane 3 in second place still. So the Edinburgh University B team with Chris McComb, and then in lane 6 it's Aberdeen Dolphins with Robert Bryce as the third swimmer goes. 1:40.18. Second, but well, over 3.5 seconds back is the Edinburgh University B team. So in for them, Ross Leslie, Kieran McGuckin in for the A-team, third place. And coming up nicely and maybe challenging for second now is Mark Campbell, the breaststroke specialist, going for Aberdeen Dolphins on freestyle here. Also going well lane one. The Edinburgh University C team, wouldn't they love to get a 1-2-3? Danny Kirkham on the third leg. But, well, they're going to push for a 1-2-3 here, I think, but let's just focus on the lead here. So Kira McGuckin brings 2:31.96 for them, so that was what, a 51.7, something like that, 51.8. On the anchor leg is Jack Thorpe for them, Jack Sharanek for the B team, and Stuart McIntosh for Aberdeen Dolphins. I think it's looking like they're the 1-2-3 here, but well, 50 metres to go. 2:55.24 is the split there. 3:19.15 is the Scottish club record, so you'd have to, well, that's maybe probably a little outside their grasp, I think. But 3:19.15, it's coming up 3:17, 3:18, no, it's just slipping by, but an emphatic victory in 3:20.86 for the Edinburgh University team. Brilliant stuff there. They get the 1-2 as Jack Sharanek brings the B team home for a good second place, and it was Aberdeen Dolphins just holding on to third from a determined challenge from Kieran Preston on the Edinburgh University C team. So they'd love to have got a 1-2-3 there, but Aberdeen Dolphins just stopped that from happening.
They would. Some very impressive swimming there. Cumberland leading off under 50 seconds, and if my mental arithmetic is correct, 48.9 seconds for Jack Thorpe on the anchor leg, which bodes well for the national team challenge next year in the Gold Coast.
Yes, we saw some great 100 freestyle performances from the Scots in the British Championships, didn't we? And we've got a 4x100 team that looks quite tasty.
Developing. We'll go with developing.
A work in progress then.
Work in progress. What's really pleasing is not so much the individual performances. Obviously, Duncan Scott is fantastic, but the other boys are now pushing each other really hard to improve the overall team performance. If Jack's going 48 there, we just heard about Scott McClay earlier going 49.3 in Israel, plus Kieran McGuckin, Mark Shranek who went 50 point, and of course Duncan himself, Stephen Milne, Craig McLean, all knocking on the door of that relay squad. So yeah, it bodes well, developing performance, and of course we come up against the might of the Aussies on their home patch, but we're certainly preparing to give them a run for their money.
There you can see the Edinburgh University team coming in. Jack Thorpe there, bringing them in. Just see what a big lead that was, and as you say, a very fast final leg there from Jack. So that's day 3 in the bag, minus a few medal presentations. Highlights from tonight, Alan, for you?
Yeah, I liked that last relay. I have to say I liked that last swim of that last relay, but going earlier in the programme, Camilla was impressive again in her 400 freestyle. Lizzie Simmons just over the minute in the backstroke, very good. The race of the evening, I think, was that men's 100 breaststroke.
Yeah, so I would just give you here the presentation for the 800 freestyle. Jacob Butterfield getting a good cheer from his Leeds teammates there as he picks up the bronze medal for the City of Leeds. Richard Laird, silver medalist from South Lanarkshire. And the gold medalist, John Wright. So a really strong swim there, 8:36.17. And he'll be, I think, pretty pleased with that. And Fraser Agnew, with that really gutsy swim, gets to the podium as our junior champion. Tall lad compared with his teammate, John Wright. So well done, University of Aberdeen there. Senior and junior champion for this developing programme here under Patrick Miley. And certainly he's got something to work with there with Fraser on basis of the evidence we just saw there.
Good training squad developing, a pair of them and plenty others as well, reaping the rewards of the hard work over the last several months.
So we come now to first of our relay presentations. The ladies up first. In Heart of Midlothian, the bronze medalists. That Hearts team, Ellie Riley, Emma Russell, Kiana McInnes and Lexi Waller. And because in a moment they'll pick up the junior medals as well. But we'll hold on that because there are the silver medalists. The University of Aberdeen performance team. Kirsty Simpson, Megan Grant, Hannah Miley and Alice Alcaraz. So 3 in white, Hannah's in black. What's going on there?
Didn't get the memo apparently.
And City of Glasgow, our gold medalist, really strong performances there. Camilla Hattersley, Gulf Simonal, Emily Horn and Ailey Smith. Still looking for a third swim there, looking a little red in the cheeks still, so they're putting their all into this. Oh, what's going on there? You punched the chops for Camilla.
It's a difficult job putting medals on ladies with big hair.
And there is the junior champions, the Hearts team, and of course that was a new junior record, 3:59.11, beating their own record set in April. And very talented foursome there. And wait till we see them in the medley relay. I think they're probably even stronger in the medley.
I think they certainly are, with the acquisition of, or addition rather, of Ellie Russell earlier in the season, certainly looking to improve on their own record.
Yep,
lovely.
So gives them a nice freestyle end to that medley relay, didn't they, with really promising breaststroker Ellie Riley, and then we've seen the butterfly skills of Kiana McInnes and the backstroke skills of Lexi Waller.
Yeah, it's very good, very well balanced, and something to look forward to tomorrow evening as the curtain closer for these championships.
So final presentation of the evening.
They all got the memo.
So here are the men. Bronze medalists, Aberdeen Dolphins. Eddie Watson, Robert Bryce, Mark Campbell and Stuart McIntosh. And there's some pretty fast young men at Aberdeen Dolphins at the moment, because Mark Campbell has been setting the thing alight pretty much on 50 breaststroke with that consideration time that he's knocked up in Sheffield.
He has, and a Masters record just a few days later here in this very pool.
And this is the Edinburgh University B team picking up the silver medal. Scott Gope, Chris McComb, Ross Leslie and Jack Sharanek. Nice to see Jack getting his medals to rival his brother. Oh, dearie me, it's tiring, isn't it?
Kieran obviously needing his swim down in his bed.
So there are the gold medalists, and that is Mark Sharanek, along with David Cumberledge, Kieran McGuckin and Jack Thorpe. And a very, very strong performance to finish off the night from the Edinburgh University men.
His broad shoulders are just too wide for them to stand side by side on the podium.
We wave to the crowd, wave to us. And well, it's been an excellent night. So the junior champions still to award, that is South Lanarkshire. The South Lanarkshire team, Andrew McIntosh, Jonathan Christie, Dylan Somerville and Keir Buchanan. Again, another group of very talented youngsters. South Lanarkshire always producing some great young talent. So that's it. We're just about done for day 3. Don't forget that we'll be back again for one more day. We start swimming 5:30 tomorrow. It's the final flourish here in Aberdeen. That's what we've got coming up for you. So some goodies there. Women's 100 free, men's 200 free will be crackers. Women's 200 butterfly, what can Kiana McInnes do in that? 50 backstroke for the men, 50 breaststroke. Corey Scott will feature in that. Men's 400 IM, women's 1500, and we finish off with medley relays. You can't miss that, can you? Who would want to possibly miss that?
We'll be here.
We will indeed.
We hope that you will join us for that tomorrow evening. We're looking for some great performances in the heat, setting up those finals. Please join us for the final session of the Scottish Open Championships.
So once more, remember hashtag SNOC17. Keep us your tweets, but for now, we wish you a very good farewell from the Aberdeen Sports Village, from Alan Lynn and myself, Duncan McKinnell. It's good night from Aberdeen.
Good night.